check. Yeah, Tuxedo Magnum is coming off of a 2-0 victory to Dorado Gaming, which I know will always make you a happy supporter.
Yeah, of course. So, like, Tuxedo are my team now. Anyone that beats Dorado is immediately in my good books. So, as we have had beef for, I think, about 4 years now. So, anyone else that hates Dorado, I'm with y'all all the way. But no, regardless of that, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do. They look really good in their games. I did manage to catch some clips from it. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do overall. But I think the one worrying thing for me was their champ pool looked very stiff. They looked a little bit, if someone was playing something slightly off meta, they looked a little bit weaker. While on the other side, OverSoul, I know this team from previous seasons. They've always had coaches or people in the background that like teach people how to play weird stuff. It's something that they've always done. Like I'll see, like I think I saw a Tarek Jungle one time from OverSoul a couple of years ago, and it worked. It was like a light rocket build. It worked really well for them. So like, if there's ever going to be a spice to come out, it's OVS, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to do next.
Yeah, and I think it's especially nice because it's Fearless Draft. So maybe this is the big test for Tuxedo playing against a team that has some of these off meta picks here and there. Whereas Oversoul, this might be kind of their element. Again, fearless drafting, you're able to pick some of these spicier picks and not have to worry about like, oh, if we pick like Tarek Jungle, for instance, are we going to have some sort of meta like Wukong pick up against us where it's just like, oh, well, we can't really play the game anymore. That sucks. It is also worth mentioning that not only has the drafting style changed with Fearless, we're on a new patch now. It's 25 season 1 3 if I know my notes correctly, which means that we have a couple of changes. Some big ones that I want to highlight. I want to see some Thresh getting some extra health in the early game, as well as some extra damage on the basic attack on Flay, his main poke tool in lane. Really big deal for him. Galio got a nerf to his HP. Samira got minor buffs. Sorel got minor touchdown. Viego lost 3 whole AD, I think was a big change for him. A couple of small shakeups here and there. I think the buff's mostly minor, but should be able to shake things up at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be, not the best way to put this, it's going to be the worst patch I've ever seen for the scale of what they've done. It doesn't feel like they've done a lot in terms of actually scaling people up or down. They're just like slight minor touches, but overall they will make changes in the meta, but slowly. We're still going to see Wukong. We're still going to see Cassio.
Yeah.
We're still going to see Thresh you might see a little bit more of, but like Jarvan and the likes of those kind of all in kind of junglers are still going to be meta. Mel, for some reason, still exists. This is worse than Zoe. Worse than Zoe. No, let me go on. Worse than Zoe. This is worse. Do you remember launch Zoe? It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Everyone got deleted. We all hated it. For some reason, Mel isn't getting the same hate, and I don't know why. Have you been hit by your own Jinx's rocket as a support? No, I don't think so. Mel is broken, and get rid of it. It is tilting me.
I think it really is just all in her W. Everything else in her kit is very reasonable. Her damage numbers are not incredibly high outside of the damage reflection from the W. She requires a lot of cooldown reduction to function.
Birdie, let me talk to you. Do you remember Gwen is immune? Do you remember Gwen is immune?
Gwen is immune.
Now imagine that came out and Gwen is immune, but it hits you with it.
Yeah, I've played as Mel and against Mel several times in ARAM and in normal games. I think her damage numbers are fine. It really is just that reflect that is so insane, especially with Mel players now starting to max that second, which means that cooldown gets lower so much faster, especially with her building a lot of cooldown reduction. There's a lot that we could talk about with that champion, but I think another big change for this patch was Tank Jace getting a lot of hefty nerfs. Base damage is down, AD ratio's up, so if you're building that tank style, you might want to throw in a Black Cleaver or Spear Shojin before you go towards those full tank items, which I think either this patch or next patch, I didn't read all the way down to the items.
What about Jax? The tank Jax?
Potential, it's there, but I think with the Unending Despair and Fimbulwinter nerfs especially, it's going to be a lot harder to pull off these off-tank, building full tank champions now. You're not going to be building Unending Despair first anymore, in case anyone's unaware. The base numbers on that item, the stats on it are fine, but the active, the little passive heal AoE, no longer has base damage. It only scales off of your bonus HP. So much harder to pull off in the early game, much worse of a first item. Fimbulwinter also got its shield reduced a little bit. Still will probably be fine, but these champions building grasp and just saying, hey, I'm going to build full tank items, probably a lot less likely to be seen.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that top lane will change. I think Jax with the Grandmaster at Arms change, with the fact
Hmm.
it's now getting heavier scaling, and it's getting I think it's extra 10 up to that like 15 or something. It goes 5, 10, 15 now. So once you get to that level 16, you're getting closer to like, I think the best way to put it, you're getting closer to Kale level of scaling when it comes to that level 16. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if Jax will get into that one in those later stages where we'll start to see Jax versus Kale realistically in maybe every single first pick of a game. Well,
Well,
it
that
could
is
happen.
interesting.
It's like first side blue, Jax, first side red on straight on Kale. It could happen. Also, Kane, not competitive, has been changed, but Swain is one I do want to touch on slightly because
Yeah,
Swain, when you
damage
give
buffs
a
on
Swain
Queen.
time, it just doesn't die. They've now given it more health, so it dies less.
Yeah,
And its
more health.
scaling is incredible as a mid laner.
Scary, scary champion. I did just double check the notes. The Unending Despair and Fimbulwinter nerfs haven't come through yet. The only item changes were to support items. Zazek got nerfed again. So I'm just really hoping we don't see it anymore. I want people to just stop building the item, even on like poke champions. Just go like even with Bloodsong getting nerfed. Bloodsong's better.
Well, you just play Lulu now. Don't play anything
Yes,
else. Just play
it's been
Lulu.
it's been play Lulu, play Karma, play Nami for ages, but you just build them better.
Oh,
But
since
you don't have
2019. Since
oh,
2019.
but people like their poke champions. But anyway, now we're getting into the draft. You called it out early on before we even got started here in the draft. The Tarek is banned away. First ban by Tuxedo versus Oversoul.
Yeah, it is something that they do play, and it is a really good counter into Lulu as well. So we've got to keep an eye and see if anything happens with that. But it looks like they don't want any sustain so far. They don't want heals from Tarek. They don't want Warwick's. Well, on the other side, they don't want that tanky engage creature style that is Volibear, Skarner. It's there's too much open. I don't like people not banning out the bot side. The bot side is the most volatile lane at the moment. If you can win through drafting bot, you can win the game. Just take the Leona Misfortune every single time. Ban all the other stuff. Oh, that is going to be an Evian way.
Rom is also still up and available. There's a lot of power picks. There's been a lot of just targeting towards
Jinx,
specific
Callista.
champion pools here. Jinx, Callista, Caitlyn, even though she's not in the greatest spot, Jinx is gonna be that first pick lock in, and I can't say I hate it as long as Oversoul can draft towards that actual Jinx play and can, formulate a comp around her. I think it could be good, but this could be spicier. Kog'Maw Lulu maybe as the counter to Jinx. Don't let the Jinx take the Lulu with her. This would be so good.
You remember the feed the puppy of back in the day with Piglet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is what it's starting to feel like. You just whenever I see Kog'Maw, it just reminds me of Piglet just barking down the mid lane and just absolutely decimating the LCK every single week. But we're gonna have Lulu on the other side and Zac as the jungler. So they've given up the Lulu. How are we going to see a Yuumi?
Are we gonna see Yuumi? Are we gonna see Janna? Are we gonna see Leo? Maybe even Nami just to try and out-sustain the Lulu lane. But we're also seeing Diana as the pick here for Oversoul on the blue side. A little bit of a surprising one, I would say. Diana's not the champion that we normally see very much of in the meta, but god damn it, we are gonna see the Yuumi. I'm not happy.
I know Loki is just screaming somewhere. I can feel it. There's a Yuumi Titan right now. I just hear just Loki somewhere, wherever you are. I hope you're watching this. But
I think Loki
yeah,
is Loki producing the other stream? No, that's
I think she's observing. Yeah, I think she's observing the other stream. I'll give Loki a shout after this. But on the other side, Alawi and Mordekaiser are gone.
Yeah, we're starting to ban out a lot of these top
Cassante.
Mordekaiser, Cassante, not to be seen this first game. Hallelujah. Mel, I believe, is still disabled at least for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm trying to remember the exact day that it comes out. I'll look at that between games. Malphite also banned away when you're playing with a Jinx. Malphite ban, fantastic one. Love to see that. I wonder, Tux is sort of lacking a little bit in damage, and they're going to continue to lack if they're going to lock in the Maokai, which means probably a Zac top. It could be Maokai top, but one of these two tanks is going up to the top side.
I'd be less surprised with a Maokai top. I kind of like the idea of Maokai top. You happy about the Poppy?
Absolutely happy about the Poppy. Crushes Kog'Maw and stuffs Zac Engage. This is a great character.
I prefer Jungle Poppy with Dark Harvest because you just run into a lane and absolutely bop something. But I can see that's going to be useful in this game. It's just I think Maokai can still break through with his twisted
His
advance.
W is it goes under the ground. It's not technically a dash. We are also going to see Vigar versus Aurora. It looks like in the mid lane, unless we're seeing Diana mid, Poppy jungle, Aurora top, which I feel a little surprised.
I play Poppy jungle. No one else does. It's definitely going top. I'm the freak. I'm the weird one.
But is also just good right now. Her damage in lane with the percentage in on Q plus grass proccing with the shield, all very, very nice. But Tux has an incredible scaling composition here. Vigar Kog'Maw, if they make it to 30 minutes, they might just run the game.
Yeah, 100%. They also have the fact that like Veigar can hold off the engage from the Diana, from the Poppy, and they can split up team fights very easily, while Yuumi can keep them all alive. Because Kog'Maw's going to be in the backline. You ult through your own team. They're getting more healing than Diana and Aurora could possibly burst them, because Yuumi is in a very good spot right now with Dreamcatcher and Everstone being so strong. Maokai with more setup. It's going to be a game of picks, not fights. Whoever picks something off before that big fight, that's where the win will come. And I think that's where Lulu's strength is. You polymorph something, it's kind of dead.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to assume that Jaded Cloud is going to have the cleanse on this Kog'Maw going up against not only the Poppy, but also the Aurora and the Jinx and the Lulu. Plenty of CC to cleanse away from. The kills might even be necessary for tier on this Yuumi. I'm just so sad that we're seeing Yuumi. Like, I'm in two camps of this, because I love enchanters. I'm a big like Nami Karma player. They are like two of my favorite champions currently. I think enchanters are so strong. But two of the champions that I hate the most are Lulu and Yuumi. So I feel like I'm just like I am the dichotomy. I am holding two opinions that should not be true at the same time. I love enchanters, but I hate these two.
They're the weakest version of Enchanter, apart from Sona. They are the weakest version of Enchanter because they don't have any of their own trading power.
I don't know if I would say that for Lulu. With her passive and with Polymorph, I would argue she is.
You step up against my Lulu with a Janna. Janna's winning that. Doesn't matter how many abilities I hit. Janna wins those. Okay, like Janna is a busted enchanter that does unreal damage, and her shield is just better. Taric beats Lulu into the floor, like a hammer for days, just gems all over it. And what other enchanter beats it?
It does again make me wonder with this draft. The Taric ban very early for OverSoul kind of says that they want to pick an enchanter. They're looking for something like a Lulu, like a Nami, Melio, that sort of area. To see Tuxedo Magnum allow the Lulu to go through, especially when you're already picking the Kog'Maw, do you think they were coming into it with the Yuumi pick in mind? Or do you think they were like, if they pick Lulu, it's fine, we have other enchanters in the background?
I think in the case of the way that Tuxedo probably want to play, from what I can see, how they previously play and the way they like to play, Nami and Thresh are probably the two most played for Fang over Fang. And giving the Lulu over, which is something that they can do, eliminates more enchanters from the pool, which forces maybe Fang over Fang onto that Thresh or onto that Nami, which are easier to counter in the future. So it might be a long play on like, we can give that over, they can think they got one over on us, but overall we will still be stronger in the next phase of the draft while taking a slightly weaker pick. So it might be them playing the long con. It might be them going, this is what we have to do to make sure we continue in a good form of momentum without losing too much. But I do think with the fact that they could go Lulu or Yuumi is a great strength for them. Also, the Veigar is the more important thing here. It's not a pick we see a lot of. And Matoke here, we can see from the previous games they play a lot of Talia, Ari, Syndra, Heimerdinger in there. I won't speak of. It's a lot of control mages. Yeah, but Veigar is the control mage. He has the most control out of all of the mages. Because yes, Syndra has spears that can get a long range CC. He just puts down a cage and says no.
God, remember when that thing was instant cast? When you just pressed the button and it appeared instantaneously with a multi-second stun? Ugh, look, I'm so glad that League has grown and changed over time, because I can't think about modern players like Vigar getting released nowadays and his wall.
Lamination. Lamination.
Oh,
30 seconds until minions
the notebook.
spawn.
The notebook, and he's just like, this is a Veigar game, and everyone on C9 this tournament, bro. He's like, this is Worlds, and he went, I know, and he just clapped everyone. It was great.
And it was in fact a Vigar game. As we're
Yeah.
onto the Rift here, it's game number 1. It's OverSoul Esports Income. It's Tuxedo, a Magnum. Just looking across the board at runes and summoner spells, we do see Exhaust Heal Barrier for this Yumi bottom lane versus the Ghost Heal for the OverSoul side. A little surprised to see neither of them taking Cleanse when there is so much CC in this game.
Yeah, I think overall, I think that cleanse, yes, would be great. But if Jinx can stay out of combat and Ghost back in, that could be better. That could be a better angle. Like sit back, maybe go for the famed Satyr full lethality Jinx build and just go for that one reset and then run them down. There's always a chance. We've already seen that. It can work in this case if you can get that hit onto the Yumi. Like, I honestly think a rocket, even at full HP for Yumi, will kill if you have Opportunity Collector, because that cat does not have HP.
Yeah, even with some of the HP providing, some of the support items providing HP, like the Moonstone you were mentioning earlier, they do provide a decent amount of stats, but it's not making Yumi a tank by any stretch of the imagination. I just hope we don't see, like, the really, really degenerate tactic of, oh, we're gonna go Knight's Vow on the Yumi to just make Kog'Maw take 10% less damage, because you can't target the Yumi regardless. It's really good, but it's also very uninteractive, which is part of why I hate playing against and playing with a Yumi so much.
I like playing with a Yumi. I don't like when we lose the lane because we have a Yumi and they go, ADC bad, me go mid, and then disappear for the rest of the game. That's when we don't like the Yumi. It's like they have one target to hit, and I am it. I will die, and they're like, oh, if they're so bad, it's like, nope, that's a Leona misfortune. I'm dying here.
Jaffy's ult from this top side, getting plenty of trading into David on this Maokai. Another Grasp proc with the Buckler. And this is what makes Poppy so strong right now. You saw that Q percentage health damage, just chunking this Maokai in the early game, even with Biscuits and that passive and the Grasp. David's just forced on the back foot so early on.
It's a tree. Trees need time to grow. When they grow very, very strong, and then beat the living daylights out of Yordles. So I'm not sure if that's lore or canon correct, but we're sticking with it. But yeah, eventually Maokai will have a chance to get them under tower. That's what we got to watch for.
Yeah, it's just going to be a matter of when they get there. Jaffe does also have Mana Flow plus Scorch. I did see that Scorch there in lane, so it means that Poppy's early mana sustain problems should be fixed over time, but I think we're also just not expecting a ton of action this early game. We have a Vygar Aurora mid lane, we've got an Enchanter bottom lane, we've got tanks top side. I think we've got a lot of time before we see any sort of action hitting the Rift here for this game.
I'd like to introduce you to the Aurora effect, where no matter what I'm doing as a jungler, or as a support, or as an ADC, for some reason, something goes wrong with this champion. Whether they die or get a kill, something happens. You just gotta watch those little bunny ears. They're a lie. They're not cute. They're signs of evil, okay? Never trust a bunny.
Chaos.
Yeah, if you're any Monty Python fans, you know what I'm on about. But never trust a bunny. It's evil. So I will be keeping a firm eye on how that mid lane goes. I know Matoke, I hope I'm saying that right. There's too many Q's in that for the Irish alphabet.
If it's Canadian, like the hat that they have, they call beanies toques.
Toques?
Yeah.
Like Merry and Pippin?
Kind of, but I think it is spelled like T-O-Q-U-E. I'd have to double check that. I haven't spoken with a Canadian in some time.
I didn't know Canada was a place. Well, America was taking over that. That's one of the funniest things I've seen.
Yeah, this is the Maokai Poppy matchup. They're gonna hit each other. They're gonna trade grass procs. Maokai's gonna get the heal off the minions. They're both gonna stack tier, and they're gonna be happy, especially because those Fimbulwinter and Unending Nurse have not come through yet. So both of them are free to just build as tanky as they want.
So I'm a little bit upset with this Jeff God Gamer here with the Jinx setup here. Why are you taking biscuits?
It's a good question. I wonder if they have 3 boots as a secondary room there and just wanted something else, but I mean, even something like Summoner Spell CDR are probably better than Biscuits, especially in pro play games where, especially in Enchanter lanes like this, there's just not a lot of trading happening.
Also, you don't really need that extra little bit of health, because if you ever need to pop that biscuit in an emergency situation, your support's not doing their job.
Or you're already dead.
So like, why not just go for then the cosmic line, get that extra adaptability that comes through scaling? You know, scaling is the name of the game here for Jinx. Also, the fact that they don't have the €250 skin. Talk about that too.
You know what? I think we can be happy about that.
No, I got it.
We are seeing
over 1 million. I have to get it. I'm not going to tell you what pull I got it on because it's pressing, but
oh jeez.
Nonetheless, I did get it, and it is very, very nice skin. I like putting the hood up and pretending I'm in arcane, and then getting absolutely bodied in lane. But regardless of that, do you know what it feels like? Do you remember our first game together, Britty?
The one that was incredibly slow, and the first feat that was taken was Tower.
Yeah, it feels like one of those.
It definitely could be. We did see the first objective already taken over with the Ocean Dragon, and now Swiftly just rotating straight over to the Grubs as well. Despite no kills going over, this feels like a dominant early game already from them. Just getting these first two objectives means that you're that much closer to getting to your late game power scaling fantasy.
Yeah, Gladiators just kind of getting moved around the map and not wanting to go where they want to go right now. I think that's the biggest issue coming through, is that Diana's kind of forcing the tempo of the game and just kind of knows where Zac is at all times. You can see the vision control coming through on the bot side. Spot the Zac again. They know exactly where the Zac is nearly at all times, which just opens them up to going, well, I can take this. I have prio on the top side. Poppy can go first. Aurora has prio on the mid. As we saw, they were trading and going towards the jungle. Everything is working in Swifty's favor in terms of tempo as a jungler, so they're more than comfortable to just continuously move around the map, pick up these objectives, and have no fear. I think at one point when they started Drake, every lane was shoved in for OBS. So why would they not be? Why would they be worried at any point? As we do see heavy trading in the top, full mana baron now nearly used for David on this Maokai, which means there could have to be a reset coming in soon, but Diana is not there for the dive. Was Zac maybe over that wall could get something?
Yeah, Jackie probably also needs to recall. Rocket used here on Mountain means first blood goes to Jet God Gamer. The most unfortunate freeze that I've ever seen happen in a game is heals popped by Fang over Fang. The barrier's there for Jade and Cloud. I don't think this dive works because there's no wild growth. Lulu's not level 6 yet.
Yeah, how did that happen? Where did you go, Lulu? Where did you go? Why weren't you picking up XP?
Probably just warding somewhere or different back timings. We'll get back into the game as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the spectator client just has been, unfortunately, kind of buggy recently. There's not a lot that we can do about it.
Recently?
Yeah, more so than in the past, like...
I can't remember a time it worked.
Months. Yeah, no, look, I don't want to flame Riot, but guys, we want to spectate your game. Please give us a spectator client that's
We want to give you money. We have people playing your game for money, please. But no, that was a surprising first blood. We didn't even get to catch the start of it. I don't think anyone expected that. I was enjoying the conversations about biscuits.
Yeah, I wonder why Tyr was dismounted for so long, and if they maybe just like caught a polymorph when they were trying to get some poke down and weren't able to remount up, and it meant that they just ate too much poke and damage.
Maybe we didn't get to see the lead up to it. Maybe there's small mistakes coming through there. As I forgot that Bleach was on my other screen and was having looking at Ichigo's looking at me angrily right now, and I feel really bad because I'm wearing a Naruto top.
Oh, the betrayal.
Well, no. See, the thing is, I've never watched Naruto. Well,
oh, that's even
also
worse.
doesn't know what anime is. She doesn't watch any of it, so she's buying me tops. I have a One Piece top. I have 4 or 5 Dragon Balls, and I have Naruto. I've never watched Naruto or One Piece. I don't have any Bleach merch.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Just the way it is. I'm sure that someone in the chat right now is saying solo leveling. No one cares. No one cares, bro. Jujutsu Kaisen wipes them down. On God.
I'm also committing sins because I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen yet. I'm still trying to catch up with the most recent season of Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc.
Bro. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get on that.
I'm finishing up the last 4 episodes tonight with my partner. So far so good. It's been fantastic. It's just one of those things where it's like
I don't think Demon Slayer is great anime in terms of like actual story.
But
it's just visually beautiful. Like visually, it is absolutely tremendous. It's like the story you can kind of tell everything that's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah, it's not like you're incredibly shocked by a twist. There might be like a, oh, I didn't really expect that, but okay, kind of thing happening. But it's not like a, oh my god, shocking twist of the century. Call M Night Shyamalan.
Oh,
We'll
like
let you know as soon as we
Bleach
have
has twists, but we're
a
back and it's
way
3 to
back.
1.
Yes, unfortunately, when we need to reconnect to the spectator client, it will jump us forward in time, as that's just kind of how it works. And it seems like not too much has changed. We do see Tuxedo Magnum picked up that second dragon. All 6 grubs went over to OverSoul Esports. We are on a Mountain Soul map, and Kog'Maw Yumi did end up getting a return kill. So the board, even overall,
Fire roll as a gang.
yeah, Fang over Fang now getting engaged on the bottom side. Gladiator's got the let's bounce it. Yeah, that is one dead Lulu. Fang over Fang drops there. They give the kill over to Kog'Maw as well. The gold is about 1,000 ahead in Oversoul's favor, but a lead that small against Kog'Maw Vygar does not feel secure.
Also the fact that, as we saw before, the lanes were going forward the side of Oversoul. Now they're kind of going the opposite direction now that we've jumped back in. It seems to be control has swapped a little bit. We also see a bit of a TES lead building in the top side for Maokai, so that lane might be changing up. The jungle, although they did get 6 grubs, there is still that little bit of a grind fest to get back into that and get those towers down. Looks like Feats of War have already been picked up as well, as the first 3 kills did go over to OVS. They also did get double grubs and Drake, so they've won the booty. They're going to be a little bit stronger as the gank goes top. There's Swifty.
Flashes in for the Moonfall. It's not a ton of damage. His Maokai is still very tanky, but they'll eventually pick him up. Maybe be able to donate the kill over to Diana if Swifty can just grab that with the Q. Locks that one down to Diana. Finally on the board first.
Yeah, I was watching David flash in the corner of my eyes. Like it's nearly there. There's a couple more seconds, but no, doesn't manage to get it. As we do see Veigar now roaming towards that bot side. It has a clear path. The only vision is in that try. If they stick to the bottom side of this, they'll get in for free, but no, they get spotted.
The reaction might not be soon. The Fang over Fang pops the heal. They're gonna bring the teleport from Aurora as well. Cage manages to find Fang over Fang. The burst not there though, thanks to the shield. Now Fire Mana wants in, flash away by Jaded Cloud. The Super Dragon Death Rocket doesn't manage to find the kill onto Chuk. A lot of summoners burned there from both sides, but Oversoul end up fending off the gank and getting a couple of more summoners in return.
They'll get a CC to follow that one down as they continue the damage. They're going to get the reset off the tower, but Jeff God Gamer is not going to try to use that to elevate a position and rush at them. They do get first tower, they do get 6 scrubs, they do get the feat of warfare. OVS looking strong so far.
Yeah, 5 plates for the Jinx as well. Already has that Yuntal Wild Arrows completed with those triumphant Berserker Greaves. This Jinx is in a very good spot. I think as long as we see an Infinity Edge coming in the near future for her, she's going to be one-shotting this game, despite how tanky this game is. Oh no, not again.
We get a second pause. We should get in with a little bit closer in time this time around, as we can see here. Yep, just cuts off as Spectator likes to do. What do you do in these cases?
You pray that it fixes itself for the next game and hope that it doesn't make us lose too much of the game. The last time this happened, we ended up having a like a nearly uninterrupted, I want to say, game 2 and game 3 after it was happening in game 1. So maybe we'll be lucky and maybe we'll end up being okay. But
Our game 1 was interrupted by a sleeping producer, so
I don't want to bully him too hard for it. He just
that's
misread
what
the
I'm here
schedule
for.
slightly.
That's my job. I'm the bully. I do it
You're
through
the-
love,
you're the-
okay?
Call out an old reference. You're the Simon Cowell of this setup.
I don't have nearly enough chest hair for that.
I guess I'm the Paula Abdul because I'm probably nicer than I should be.
Yeah, I hope she was cute. I'll be honest.
Well,
Okay.
we're jumping back a few more minutes ahead. It's a very slow game, so we are going to see the Voracious Autocon, which on this patch did get another hefty set of nerfs. That withdraw time now up to, I believe it's 15 seconds, and the extra gold per kill down from 40 to 25. So,
Withdraw's health based.
oh,
The
yeah.
longer it takes you to get the full HP.
Oh, no. Withdrawal now fully heals you as opposed to full healing. Face HP and false life withdrawal the stasis duration increased from 5.5 to 15. So it's always going to be 15 seconds no matter how much health you have. But going from 5 seconds to 15 means that if you die near an objective, you're not going to get back to it in time for the enemy team to not be able to take it.
Yeah, I just feel like we could just roll it back and get rid of the thing altogether. I think the Feats of War is enough of a victory.
It's similar to what happened with the Chemtech Soul. Cool idea, but giving champions revives is just dangerous. As Classic Slingshot charged up by Gladiator, they want Jeff God Gamer. Gets the pullback, no knockup though, as so Team Fireman are looking for a potential engagement on the back line. Let's bounce use offensively just to try and make some space. Jeff God Gamer eats a ton of poke, and without any extra sustain outside of that Doran's blade, that might be enough. Does get stunned up, but they engage on fire over Fang. Looks to get away with that wild growth. Swifty gets the pull in, but it's just deletion. Matuk picks up one, Jaded Cloud picks up the other, and Tux Magnum now in control.
Yeah, Tux looking very, very good going into this now. They've definitely swung the tempo back in their favor. Now it's just a matter of getting those towers down, getting better macro control, and getting more scaling. Like, they're scaling aggressively here now. Cogmok 3-1. They are now picking up a kill. And Maokai now starting to trade a little bit heavier into this Poppy, but we were saying about every time they add revives. Never mind, we're going to not see a revive here, more than likely.
Take a death drop. It does pick up. Shutdown goes over to the Jinx and Jaded Cloud in a very bad spot, but the shields are massive. Yubi plus that barrier means that they just can't get through the health bar. Jaded Cloud will walk away, but still Shutdown goes over to the Jinx. A big win for OverSoul back to that dragon.
Yeah, a lot more back for them there, and so, some very important gold into the Jinx. They're going to go straight towards the Rift Herald. They're going full purple for their side and just getting everything they can from there. So great work from them on that side of the map. But on the bot side, they've now lost 2 Drakes. We do see the Maokai just dropping vision then, making sure they know that's there. But we're talking about revives, and I want to point out one other thing. Do you remember when there used to be an Aatrox revive, and then they reworked Aatrox, and then he had another revive, and then they had to rework it again? Stop messing with revives, right? Stop.
Like, even Akshan as a revive, like, I know in some where he doesn't get a lot of plays, because it doesn't happen that often, but I'm an ARAM player. That champion is so toxic in ARAM because you win a fight, it's so cool, and then you're the person who got, like, the quadra kill is on 1 HP, and Akshan just says, tee-hee, auto, and suddenly everyone's back, and you just can't get anywhere close to ending the game, and it feels so bad. It's like Teemo, but...
It's like Teemo,
like,
yeah.
It just keeps the game going forever.
Yes, we do have our pro comps. 50.3, 0.3%. It's going to be another engage.
Denies the engage. Jeff God Gamer trying to trade this Jaded Cloud. They know that the combo has no barrier. They're just going to look to burst him down. Super Mega Death Rocket, not enough. Jeff God Gamer, one more auto. The shields, the sustain. Kog'Maw will not die. But now Gladiator's the one in trouble. Does have that revive passive. Will be able to pick himself back up as Fire Mana trading with Tube on the backside, but now it's stuck inside the baby cage. Doesn't have to stun. Jaded Cloud gets a free hit, but Flash Lord from Fire Mana shuts that one down. Tube does manage to pick up the burst, and that means Kog'Maw's passive picks the value. Jeff God Gamer goes down, and Kog'Maw finds the kill.
With 2 resets there, was rushing forward. I think they forgot the Sack has a passive. A little bit unfortunate there, but yeah, great work again. Yes, really putting the burners on in that last one. A good trade back, obviously, for Kog'Maw to pick up what they did, but yeah, OVS are starting to put down the foot here and force things out, but we have not seen Poppy join a fight yet. I'm kind of just, now that we're looking, it's like, if Poppy joins those, they win harder, yes?
Yeah, because it will shut down the Zac engage, and Kog'Maw, if he gets tapped by the ultimate and gets knocked up by that Keeper's Verdict, it's just kind of GG for him. He doesn't have a way out of it.
Yes, but at the moment, I still think that Poppy might be a little bit weaker in those fights, as Kog'Maw should be able to shred through them. They do have only 1 AD source of damage, so rushing into that MR is never a bad idea, as we do see the Merc Treads come out as well from the top, mid, and jungle. Even the Aurora going Merc Treads.
Yeah, Kog'Maw's also kind of pseudo AP. His percentage health damage outside of the Blade of the Rune King that he now has is coming off of that magic damage from the W. So more MR stacking better for Jackie and even for people like Fire Mana and Swiftly here. I almost
I
would have
think that Jaffe might be worried about that though. That little bit of AD might be enough for them to get shredded, plus it's health damage, and you build a lot of health on Poppy, so they might be waiting until they get that one. But with that longsword in the inventory, are they going first strike?
They want to find the Maokai. They're gonna keep him down. He tries to flash over the traps, but it's just right into the jump first. They should just be able to donate this one over to the Jinx. God, Gamer has picked that one up.
I think first strike back now, and then Thundering Sky to know
Could be
one by
it might be Eclipse just looking for a little bit better side laning. I know there's a lot of AD items that Poppy can build. It's just not often.
Thundering Sky is amazing for Poppy because you can proc it on the buckler in combat on aim at someone else and just get a ton of health back.
Yeah, you also get increased resistances when you're under, right? It's 40% HP, which means that you get that low health heal, you end up having a lot more, not virtual HP, it's a lot more, like, there's a word for it, where you get more value out of it because you have more resistances. The word is there, I've lost it.
No idea what it's on about.
It's the idea of, like, you're building just pure HP. The HP's, like, its value is 1-to-1, but if you build HP alongside, like, some armor and magic resist, that HP is worth, like, 2-to-1, where the other HP was because you have resistances that are reducing the amount of damage.
180 stacks on young Adrian Smolder. Wish you got speed Smolder.
I haven't seen a Smolder stat check in so long. That jump scared me.
Yeah, it's... Oh, okay, so it's Veigar's stack check, which is 233.
Yeah,
no, bring us back to Smolder. Producer's saying sorry, no, bring us back to Smolder. I want to see how young Adrian is doing in solo queue.
We are taking the start of OverSoul, looking to get the soul point denied and get themselves Blue Dragons with Gladiators in. It's a 1v1 in the pit. It's the smite fight, and it's going to be stolen by Gladiators. Swifty, though, in the meantime, is going to get the engage in the back of the nice exhaust by the Yui. Means Swifty just can't get any work done. Stun comes through for Jaffe. The Wild goes for even more knockups. Godgiver gets one reset, but now is stuck in the cage. Jaffe is as well. The Vanguard Cage going to get so much work, and now Jaden Cloud gets some free fire for this entire fight. David can't be taken down as Godgiver doesn't have any armor pen. Jinx is still free firing away, but where's the damage? Where's the kills? It ends up being Dragon and 2 kills for Tux Magnum.
Yeah, just that quality on the side for Tux is absolutely incredible work. Goes in, gets the Drake, dies, my job is done. As we do come back to, it is Veigar stacks at 233 right now, which is just raw numbers. Just raw numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot of AP for the Veigar, and we saw the value of that cage in those fights. If there was maybe a cleanser or a McHale's, Jeff Godgamer can walk forward a little bit more, get some more autos down, put more pressure down, but at that current time, cage comes down, Jinx and Jaffe just can't go anywhere.
Control mages. Don't you love them?
Veigar especially, that cage is so insanely good.
Yes, no cleanse as well. You did highlight it there at the start of the game that you're surprised they didn't take it. Jeff had taken it at that stage. The cleanse through it, kept running at them. It was very low. Just one more rocket over that wall would have possibly killed the Maokai, setting up another hyper, getting excited again, running forward, and then Jinx was doing the damage. They have the Untal, they have the IE, they now have the Last Whisper. They're very comfortable, but that's not the smartest way to jump on that. Just a little bit.
I do also want to point out that Swifty is going for a much more bruisery build on this Diana. It's not a Storm Surge burst build that I think we would normally expect it to see. As actually potentially engaged on, has to lose the flash as Fireman will throw a little combo in Gladiator, not too much done. David's gonna eat some poke here from Godgamer. Now with the Ardent Sensor on, they're gonna force the ulti out of that Maokai. No chance for re-engage, but just defensively used. Yeah, Swifty opting for the more bruisery build. Had a great combo on the backline, but because of this more bruiser style build, because they're opting for that entries, just couldn't get enough damage done to get any sort of potential.
Wait till you see that Jack Show come through. Then we'll see the tank stats. But they know that the hackathon has been started. Zach will be passing over mid. They know they have time. They just need to think this out. They've got this.
Yeah, Jaden Cloud looking for poke too. Also looking for it. Knocked away by Jaffe, and Voracious Otacon just yoinked by Oversoul. Good at taking advantage of the positioning.
Do you ever want to break a Poppy's mental as a top laner? Just pick Urgot. If she charges the ult, when you press E, it doesn't work.
Yeah, if you buffer it, that just hurts Poppy so bad.
And you just stand there and you just taunt. You just taunt immediately. You just start doing, you know, the control tree where your legs start spinning really fast? Stand that.
Hello. Baron being started up. There is vision available. The pit now visible for Tuxedo Magnum. But again, Jack is just a little bit too far away. He's going to be able to get close. The Flame Choppers are going to keep him out of the pit, though. Can OverSoul burst it down? No! It's another steal! RC Gladiator is winning these Spite Flies. Ends up going into the Let's Outs and will die for it, but absolutely hashtag worth hang on. I think he just walks out. No, he gets the passive proc, and Fireman and Jeff God Gamer should be able to lock this one down. Fang over Fang wants the credit, but a great steal from the Zac keeps Tuxedo Magnum alive.
I nearly ripped my own mustache off. You gotta stop letting him in the pit.
They kept him out, but they just couldn't keep him out long enough.
Remember that time Team Liquid literally hired a guy to smite well and it worked? That's what the Gladiator feels like right now, as Jeff God Gamer will get tied up by the roots. Will be
Primordial Burst doesn't do enough. Jeff God Gamer looking for more damage. David forced to flash away. The Otacon revive still on, so Jinx will withdraw. We're gonna see 15 seconds of combat without this Jinx around. So can Tuxedo Magnum take advantage, or is it just essentially the old withdraw?
It's the old withdrawal. Don't worry about it.
15 seconds. If the dragon was like, you know, a couple of seconds ahead, if it was a little bit closer, maybe it matters a little bit more. But it means that OverSoul can't just instantly sprint over to the dragon and start it up.
Yeah, it is one of those things where every single time they like make changes to it, it matters more for pro play. But the average gamer, the solo queue, real players, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still just broken. At that stage of the game, if your team is getting a Hakatan, you're just sprinting at them as 5 and you're just ending the game. It is still completely busted because momentum and the ability to be confident that it doesn't matter is so OP in solo queue. But
how many solo queue teams have the GA Otacon? I feel like almost all of them are the objective Otacon.
It depends on the elo.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've had games where we don't have kills till like 25 minutes. But
Set
I
up
like this setup.
both sides. I mean, Tuxedo Magnum having advantage of the Baron buff, but the waves are really not in their favor. You can see the waves on both sides, top and bot, pushing against them. Top is going to start now pushing in their favor, but it's not the one that matters. Look at that bottom lane wave stacking up swiftly. Eventually an engaged target, and Primordial Burst comes through on very high HP. Gappy channels the ultimate, can't even get it off. Fireman is trying to get to the backline, but Jaded Cloud is untouched. Kog'Maw has gone. Thanos, a beautiful cage from Matuk is going to deny the penta. It'll be a double for Took, a triple for Jaded Cloud, and a clean ace for Tuxedo Magnum.
Yeah, that should be game right there. The time is absolutely massive right now for a team that has Iron Buff. They've stole it. They're just going to walk this one down. I'm saying I don't like this because it's Mountain Soul, and they have everything they need in terms of fighting pressure. In this one, they know they can. They have the Kog'Maw. All the summoners were available for them as well, for the Vhagar, and they won't actually opt for the end. I think they would have had that.
Potentially, but I think going for the Mountain Soul is the safer play. You have the scaling composition.
Yeah.
You have Maokai, Zac, and a Vhagar who has a decent amount of HP on his item, so the Mountain Soul providing a ton of value for them. It's the safer play. I don't hate it, but I want to talk a little bit about the draft again, because whenever Jinx comes up, I have to mention we're playing a Jinx composition now. My thought is, where does the Diana fit into this style of composition as potential looking for exit frags here? Huge Gappy though, Flash Blur to find a stun. Gladiator looking for his way in off the back of that. It's gonna end up being 1-for-1, but again, Jaded Cloud is just gonna be free hitting on the back of this fight. And now OverSoul are on the run again. Gladiator looks for a re-engage with that elastic slingshot, but Jaffe now is the one being targeted down. Gets hit by the Nature's Wrath, and Bobby will not be long for this world. One more knock up, a couple more autos. They'll give it to the Maokai. And OverSoul just falling apart here in game number 1.
Yeah, so you're talking about how the Diana fits in here, and it's more along the lines of getting that pull in and getting say a 3-man ult at least, and getting a Jinx rocket on sets them up to try and burst one target for a hyper. I love playing Jinx with a Diana, whether it's mid or jungle. It's like, if I see the idea that Diana might go in, I'm just firing my ult, whether it's going to kill or not. I know that I'm hitting multiple targets because they're all going to get pulled into the center. I can't miss the ult. I can just follow up the damage. If Diana doesn't kill them, they should be half HP, and if I'm not killing them from half HP, really far behind, the game's over anyway. So I like the idea of the Diana going in, and then you add an Aurora on top of that. Aurora and Diana ult is a perfect setup for Jinx. The issue is that Jinx doesn't have something standing in front. Stop them getting to them. Poppy's never in the right position to protect the Jinx. They're in a great position to get a stun off onto a key target, or maybe get an ult off onto another target, but they're not protecting the Jinx as a tank Poppy support would.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Jaffe's only real job in these compositions is stop Zac from getting onto that backline, block the elastic slingshot, or at the very least, face tank the Maokai ultimate so Jinx can walk up and auto attack, but we just haven't seen that from OverSoul. The composition's idea is fine, but the execution just hasn't been there, as Matuk is gonna execute Fire Mana. And yeah, I think Vigar is stacked up and strong enough at this point. 353 stacks on him already. Good lord.
That is a lot of stacks, but right now they know that Kog'Maw is up top. At the moment, if they can stop and recall the Poppy, they might be able to get more off of it. They do get the tower, they do get the reset, they do get the knockup, they do get the engage.
He is throwing the autos down. This is a 3-item Jinx. If you give her time, she will hit, but how much damage is she actually able to do? Because these tanks are just standing in front of her. The Mountain Soul, untouched are these tanks. A double kill now for Jaded Cloud to come in and clean off the scraps. Give him another as Matuk wants to find it. The tanks are just too tanky, and I think OverSoul, your game one is just about done.
Yeah, coming back to what I said before, there's no one standing in front of the Jinx, not flashing over the wall, creating more space, not getting the peel you need. And I believe there's also a Mortal Minder there and not the LDR.
I mean, when you're playing against Zac Maokai, it's not like you're looking at that and saying, oh, it's really bad here. It's just 3 Mountain Soul on these tanks with double Randuins. How much damage can Jinx really do?
It's not comfortable. You did also see Poppy.
Even if she had Fourth of Mortal and a champion flying Black Beam, she's not busted.
No, not really. But yeah, they look good. Even with the strange pick, the Yuumi, the Veigar, stuff that we don't see that often. Yeah, they look very, very strong. I will say the early game was so OVS. There was a lot of, we saw both Grubs taken, we saw them get the Feats of War. Their early game was nearly perfect. And then OVS, they scaled. That's the best way to put it. They just scaled.
Yeah, and the scaling was good for them. Unfortunately, this is not an OverSoul Esports income victory. Wrong team up on the graphic here, but the win there for Tuxedo really was just good response to these off-the-wall picks. This Diana just couldn't find a lot of value, despite what we were saying was running the early game, able to pick up 3 Grubs and an early Dragon and just free farm the jungle to 6. No pressure on her. But it just ended up not doing enough in the mid and late game. The ultis were good, but they were disconnected. They were sparse. They were not able to be followed up on by the rest of the team.
Yeah, I would like to see Jeff run it back with a Jinx. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Tuxedo Magnum. Woohoo!
Unfortunately, you can't really do that.
Yeah, Fearless won't allow me to see that, but I think the Jinx, just a little bit more thought into the draft. I think the Aurora was great with the Diana, but I would like to see a little bit more control in terms of actual CC and not slows in a team fight. Obviously Syndra and stuff like that were not available, but even an Orianna ball, follow up with the Diana, might have been a very good pick. The Poppy was really, really good. But
conceptually fantastic, but just not fully executed on, I feel. We didn't see
I think tanks need to be big, though. That's the big thing, Brady. Like, tanks can't be Yordles. I need big ones. I like Cho'Gath.
Poppy's a fantastic tank, and her W in this game, if we saw that Zac engage get stuff, if we saw her in front of the Jinx, standing forward and not allowing these tanks onto the backline, a lot better. But I think the composition from OverSoul was fine. The execution is what we're lacking, what we're hoping to see come into game 2.
Yeah, a lot more execution. See how they do, but Tuxedo, if they can keep playing these scaling comps the way they are, we're going to see them do very, very well. But we'll have to see how they do in the next draft. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes and see how they go.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the old well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
I mean, he's got to have somebody who styles it for him, right?
Saying like, who cares? It's perfect. Have you seen the prestige skin for Swain?
I'm gonna be real. I think the regular skin is sexier than the prestige skin. They
I'm gonna be
keep
real. I don't like you anymore. I don't like you
they
anymore.
keep
We're done here.
undilfing the dilf. They undilfed the dilf. Why would they do that?
Even the producer's angry. Can we just mute Birdie for the rest of this? I'll solo cast this whole thing. We only have professionals on this broadcast. I apologize to everyone watching that this has happened. We're going to take Birdie and we're going to put them back through the machine that makes them have good taste.
I have great taste, thank you very much. The whole point of Swain is he's an older man who's also hot. They youngified him. His appeal is that he's an older dude who's hot.
I'm just composing myself, trying not to go full EU and start screaming. The most horrendous stuff that could ever come out of a League player's mouth. I'm trying to keep it calm, collected.
That's a high bar to beat. I've seen some things.
Have you seen the elos I've seen?
Probably.
I'm just saying, some K-pop groups have quite a bit of gray hair.
I have gray hair.
I don't think I have any grays yet. Luckily for me.
Am I the oldest on the Titan broadcast?
Probably. On this specific
Don't say it like that. That's harsh. Probably the oldest. Yeah, no one's probably close to you. Could say I'm someone near your age.
I'm not sure. I don't know everybody's age on the Titan production side. I haven't gone around collecting birthdays.
Yeah, you probably would, freak. Non-Swain lovers.
Why is collecting birthdays a problem? What the heck?
Playoffs usually happen during my birthday, actually. And I have to
yeah?
skip them because I go out instead of being here.
Ah.
It happens. I got a lot of happy birthdays in the chat the last time for my birthday, though, which is very nice because I turned 30 and I wasn't even casting and people came in and said it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, some of y'all are nice. We all hate me. That's fine too, though. Dorado, watching y'all. But, let's get back into the game. Let's get back into the game before we go down that train once again.
Before we get too distracted, we've got the draft here for game number 2. You can see on the bottom of your screen there the banned picks for this game number 2. Neither side can pick anything like that Jinx or that Kog'Maw again. So we're going to be seeing, I imagine, a very different style of draft coming into the second game, as we already see pick we didn't even see hovered or thought about in game number 2, the Volibear, taken off the field.
It was banned in the previous one.
Was it?
Yes, it was the first ban for OVS because I say they have a lot of beastly ones for Tux because they banned Skarner, they banned Bear, and then they banned Way or...
There's too many ban phases nowadays. Ever since everybody's doing best of 3s in their regular seasons, it's just been every time it's I lose track of.
I just remembered I said a beastly comment when I saw Warwick, Volibear, and Skarner, and I was like, aha, that's how I remember things because I'm a visual learner. But Way, and then it's another mid laner coming through was the previous ban, and it was Anivia. Yeah, so nothing's changed.
Yeah, so far so similar, but we won't have any of the same first picks this time around. Kallista's available, Caitlyn's available, Varus is also available. There's a lot of potential options. It just depends on what Tux feels like they have the priority on. As Sivir
There's no Yuumi or Jinx. What are you doing?
No Yuumi, no Jinx, no Lulu either. Are we going to pair it with a Leo and play a very defensive, just safe bottom lane? As Vayne is the response. Okay, we're diving deep into the champion pools already. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this. Vayne's usually an answer to tanks. And then now that they have... Now they also have the Jarvan wall to go with it. So that could be a little bit interesting to watch if they're in a Cataclysm and you can pew them into a wall. Wonderful, great. But if you just go full burst damage, say no on the Tux side right now, that Vayne isn't going to get a chance. So they're going to take the Nami, which I said in the previous game they should have taken instead as the support. But they take that, and now you just go, what's the most bursty mid laner you can get? Because I think Syndra's still disabled.
No, Syndra was undisabled. They hotfixed patched that, as far as I'm aware, anyway. Orianna was also up and available. They had a thought of, but Amumu is the pick they're gonna go for. I can see it because already this OverSoul composition is going to be close together. We're going to get the Thresh as well. A decent counter into Nami, not great versus the Sivir, but Vayne Thresh, this is a classic bottom lane. This is just we are going to hit a hook and someone's going to die.
This is a bot lane that existed in a time where there was no such thing as bot lanes.
It was, I think the
Didn't have
last time
champions back then.
it was Uzi playing the Vayne. It was the last time I think I saw this in professional play.
No, it was played by Reckless.
With Reckless Yellowstar, I think played Vayne Thresh at some point.
Yeah, and that's where the Yellow Star meme came from, where
The Yellow
you missed
Star.
everything possible.
Unfortunately, I've done quite a few Yellow Stars in my time, and every time I say
Fortunately,
haha,
I'm a Fnatic fan.
well, hey, I mean, you're beating pretty well this season.
It's been since 2019. My son is older than the last time Fnatic won a trophy.
That's depressing. We are going to see the mid laner picked up for OverSoul. They're going to grab up the Ahri. I think it's a fine blind pick, especially if you're going to ban out the Talia and the Victor. Tux are going to pick the tank into the potential Vayne. We still don't know if this Vayne is bottom lane. This could be Jaffe playing Vayne top as well.
Could be. I doubt it because of the Thresh pick. But we have
What?
a Lux. Loki would be screaming right now if they pick Kai'Sa.
What?
If they pick Kai'Sa here and they do put down towards bot lane, Loki will literally leave their stream and come here.
No, we're getting Mbessa into the Ornn, which I think is a great pick. Mbessa likes picking up the Eclipse and the Black Cleaver, which are great tank shredding items. It is going to be the Vayne Thresh in the bottom lane.
Ornn. Ornn is the
Yeah,
assassin mage, full AD, jungle, top, hybrid support, AD carry,
Yeah.
mid lane, giant mage, assassin.
Yeah, he's the Assassin Mage Death Knight tank burster. He does everything, but Mbessa does have a lot of dash. And she does have some
Oh, the
decent-
Super Smash Bros. Tekken Wu-Tang Clan singer. Like, he is everything possible. Everything in the universe is just in those horns.
I just need to see Jaffe respecting the pre-6 Ornn damage, and especially the post-6 Ornn damage. Like, as soon as Ornn hits level 6, there's a kill combo there. He can find you and he can kill you. You just need to respect it and be above like 75% HP. But overall, drafts now completed. These are, I want to say, very solo queuing. In all honesty, you have things like the Lux, the Vayne picks we don't really get to see in competitive very often. The Amumu is a great combo with the Ornn, but like Nami Sivir's not a bottom lane combo you see very often.
I'm reading the script. We're going to a game 3.
Oh, you think OverSoul? I'm sorry. The script says that we're going to game
The
3.
script says GG Vayne.
I mean, Vayne into a Mumu Ornn, as long as
Sorry. It says FF. Sorry. See, these glasses, they don't work as well. It says FF Vayne. Look, I'm going to be honest. That Amumu's winning this game. 100% that
Yeah.
Amumu's winning this game.
low range OverSoul comp.
How are you going to stop? Okay, no, sorry. Rewind it back to game 1. Zac jumps in pit, steals Baron, steals Drakes. They get soul. And then we come back. We go into game 2 and they go, Amumu.
Yeah, there's no real way that you can stop him. I mean, it's going to be on Fang over Fang to hit a Flay on Thresh or a hook on Thresh to get him out of that bandage toss. And let me tell you, as a Thresh player, that's pretty dang hard to do.
Amumu has 2. Amumu
Yeah, he
has
also has his second one, and there's also the Ornn that you have to worry about stopping, the Nami and the Sivir that you want to potentially engage on, Lux with steals as well. I think if OverSoul can't keep Gladiator away from the pit, they're not going to be able to keep him out of it. They're going to have to zone him very far away.
It's tough. It's tough to see the draft this way and be like, especially as like people watching the game. It's something that I've said in all of my previous years in Titan. It's like, we can look at a draft, we can point out all the weak points. It doesn't matter. Once they're on the rift, shit hits the fan. I'm gonna be honest. Shit hits the fan. Like, we could go into this and be like, that Lux should be able to win lane. The Amumu's gonna get full pressure. Ornn's gonna scale that up, and Sivir's gonna be run through. Then it goes, oh, Ahri got 4 kills in a skirmish that never should have happened, or in a Raptor they tried to contest. Anything can happen in these games. Like, we saw Jinx get first blood on a Kog'Maw Yumi,
Which shouldn't.
and they lose the game.
On the Yumi specifically of the Kog'Maw Yumi. That should never really happen.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, as much as everyone's watching and looking at us going, oh, they're breaking this down way too much, this is the only thing we can do, because once we go into game, we have to change everything we've ever said, because 5-man invade through top lane and kill Ornn for the crack.
I mean, you have a Thresh. I feel like if they don't invade, something's going wrong. Thresh is a great level 1 champion, whether you take Flay or whether you take the hook. And this Tux composition is very, very weak level 1. If Amumu takes bandage toss for some extra cow control, he's not going to be able to find too much value in his jungle clear. Sivir, not really a champion until she gets several items. Lux also decent on an invade, but not great. So I want to see OverSoul applying pressure in the early game, take advantage of the scaling that Tux is trying to get, as we're going to hit the rift here. Game number 2, OverSoul backs against the wall. They're looking to find their win.
And 5-man spread.
30
No
seconds
invade.
until minions
I'm only a
spawn.
little disappointed. It's okay.
There's no way that Swifty's going to go for that. Okay, they are. Never mind. I was like, I'm so scared that they're going to go for the ward there and just get bandage tossed, into Lux bind, into just a Ornn running at them with their...
Or pressing
Ornn's
W, maybe,
walk looks
getting
so
on.
goofy. He's got the... You are a
He's a-
god and
he's
you
a
walk like a
wide-
fool.
He's a
Minions
wide
have
boy. He's got to
spawned.
waddle where he wants to go. As Cloud is potentially interested. He's just going to drop the ward. We'll get a little poke as well. So Fang Everything and God Gamer know that the ward was used there. We'll get the extra 5 gold. It's a 5 gold lead for OverSoul. Game's over. GG. They win.
Yeah, but we also have to remember that Jeff actually took cleanse this time.
That's true. And I think Cleanse, when you're looking at a Mumu, Lux, Nami, Ornn, great call. Fantastic call.
We break down the fact that more wards were used by the side of OVS in their attempt to get better vision on the start of this one? Or are we just going to be like, yeah, well, Amumu's not going to gank early anyway, right? There's no way Amumu's going to gank early.
I mean, almost assuredly he wants to, and getting the information on where he's starting means that they'll have an idea of if Moo's clearing towards the bottom side or away from it. They should know now that red buff hasn't been touched yet. He's moving away from this side of the map, so bottom lane needs to be at least a decent bit careful, but you're also, Vayne versus Sivir, you're gonna get pushed in, no matter what you do.
The other issue is that Lux did get the deep ward onto Raptors, so if you get a ward on the Raptor pit at around 115, and you will see the jungler complete that one side of the jungle and enter the other. As we do.
Stack. Jaded Cloud there gets a nice trade back, and Hellfire's traded support for AD carry, and I think for Tux, you're probably pretty happy with that, as Godgamer takes another chunk as well.
Yeah, another good hit. See what happens. But, like, I'm kind of worried right now about the fact that you know where Jarvan is, and Mumu probably won't get spotted now for another couple of seconds. As I do have a look at the mid lane as well. Matoka doesn't have vision on the top side. Jarvan was just spotted there, so they should always hover bot. It's going to be another slow start, but as always, it comes to bot lane. They're going to do something, and someone's going to die.
This game is just making me want to jump into a ranked lane and play Nami again, because you can see Tyr is just kind of not like running the lane per se, but all of the negative trades that happened for them is gone. They have plenty to sustain in this lane, and now it means that Godgamer's stuck on low HP, doesn't have any wards, or doesn't have any potions left, and Nami has mana, so she'll continue to sustain. This wave will continue to just be forced into their tower over and over again.
Which is the power of Sivir. It's the same as what we saw previously with when Ezreal was very meta. It's like, what's the safest place for Ezreal to be? Pushing waves under enemy tower, because you're never catching them because they have to jump. We do have a little scuttle right now. Oh, there's the movement. Oh, it's over. Oh, all the sadness comes through now. Every time, RIP.
Yeah.
Crab like the equivalent to our Harambe.
I don't know if I'd go that far. We do see Gladiator on the bottom side here. Both junglers looking for an invade onto the blue side of each other, but again, every time we pay down here to bottom lane, the trades are just getting worse and worse for this OverSoul bottom lane. They're both so low in a lane that you would hope that the Vayne Thresh could take advantage of early on into the game. Is not able to do it just because the sustain from this Nami is so good.
Yeah. See what the next plan is coming from Jarvan here. Looks like it's just going to be 2 full clear junglers for the foreseeable future. You do see a play on the tower, but Fang gets hurt more. It's like, yeah, this is the perfect time. No, my mistake. I'm going to recall. Like, it's a support life, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
you try to do something smart and get absolutely just destroyed for it. As we do see fire mana. A good push on that. That could be a decent reset timing now with Drake, but.
Yeah, we do see Jarvan on the bottom side of the map, and Fireman out rotating down as well with the junglers nearby on vision. Swifty was spotted out, so we'll most likely just walk up and make sure that this wave gets pushed all the way in. I like to see it.
Look where the blue ward is in the enemy jungle right now. They have a ward on the Grom. They know what's happening. You may be the king, but everyone can see you. Also, has anyone played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 yet? That's a wonderful game.
I've seen a lot of advertisements for it when I'm scrolling through like TikTok or YouTube, but I haven't played it myself. I never played the first one. I appreciate people loving their realism games. It's not what I'm here for. I'm a cyberpunk player. Gladiator. Finds us put on the fire, and the bandage toss lands. Number one. Number two. Tuke doesn't manage to find the bind, but it doesn't matter. The auto attack comes through, and that's first blood for the Lux.
Yeah, wonderful little start there. We're seeing Tux get the reverse on it this time. They get the first blood. OVS, they are going to be the ones behind for the moment, as we do see waves now getting collected as they are shoved in, as always. But yeah, a good start for them. It's a little bit of a swap. Tux did do well to win the game in their late game scaling, and I guess we could talk about scaling a little bit, but I will say Kingdom Come Deliverance, it took me 20 minutes to make a potion.
Wow, that's... I'm glad people enjoy that.
I'm bad at it. I'll be honest, I'm bad at it. It's crazy how realistic everything has to be. Like, I'm mortar and pestling stuff, and I'm like, it has to be better than this. But regardless, back to scaling.
I'm glad people enjoy that. Not for me, but what is for me is this game of League, as OverSoul is going to start up the runs here. As Tuke is going to eat a chunk out of Fire Mana with that full combo. Now Swifty, I think without the mid lane pressure, has to start walking back. Here also rotating up. Flash forced out of Swifty, but Gladiator has the follow-up. Bandage toss number one landed, then number two is going to find the kill. Jaffe used the public execution, got away from David, but it was just an escape tool. And again, Tux just walk in and own the map.
Jaffe used the public execution to stop the second phase of the horn through and stopping our CG Gladiator from getting onto Swifty. So Swifty died through Jaffe stopping that. So yeah, there was a lot going on there. Jaffe really tried their best to save their jungler, but right now you're getting knocked up and it's not good.
Is available, but Gladiator doesn't want to use it here. Jaffe with the dashes will end up just walking away. I'm a little surprised that we don't just pull the trigger on that Amumu.
He missed the second bandage toss as he used the first one already to get back to the blue. So the cooldown was like 4 or 5 more seconds, and I was like, do I flash for it? I could flash it. It's one of those things like I don't have the bandage toss to follow. Let's just play it safe. We got the knock up, we got the pressure, the waves into you. Go and collect it. It's a little bit safer, and I kind of like that idea from them right now, but they are losing the Drake on the other side due to that extra time loss for the Amumu, but they're getting a Raptor camp.
Yeah, very obviously an even trade. I'd much rather my jungler have the Raptor camp than take the Hex Dragon for my whole team. It is something for RC Gladiator at the very least, and it is basically Grubs for Dragon trade, even though OverSoul do manage to pick up one of those. Two is going to force his way into the tower. We are seeing God Gamer Jeff down there go for what I'm assuming is going to be the Blade of the Rune King. First item here for the main. I like that you're into a lane with a lot of poke and a lot of sustain. Dam Scepter first recall just feels very necessary.
I wonder if their name is actually Jeff or they're just a fan of 21 Jump Street.
I mean, maybe they're a Marvel Rivals player who recently, just decided to change their name, and they really like Jeff.
I tried that, and I really like playing Jeff, but yeah, not good. Their name is actually Jeff. Okay, cool. Thank you for clearing that up, production. Really appreciate that. As we do see Jaffe getting cake.
As public execution, but sidestepped beautifully by David. Gladiator hits the curse of the sad mummy. Goodbye, Ambessa. The sad Yordle wins out today.
I just realized I made probably a European joke there. Do you have Jaffa cakes in America?
No, but I've watched enough Yogscast in my youth to know of them.
Okay, cool. Okay, right. At least one person will get it then. So I do love Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
Bake Off.
Yeah,
that also a biscuit you can buy in the cake aisle. It's crazy.
Fang over Fang, spell shield already used by JJ Cloud. Hope not even necessary to come through. Looking to save it potentially for the tier. Doesn't end up tossing it out, but with that final hour pops, Jeff Got Gamer just manages to pick up a free kill. Nice little engage there by the Ving Thresh bot lanes. Yeah,
and we also saw the rest of the team coming down to support as well, as we also saw Fire Mana in the bush there screaming support. Like, you got this, guys, from the bush, like, absolutely brilliant. But on the other side, here comes the reverse.
Or Fang over Fang, now potentially in trouble. How good's your play? I don't think it even matters how good it potentially is. Heal comes through, but it's just to stall a little extra time. Now, Jeff, with the support of Fire Mana, is looking to walk forward. Quickly on the way as well. Spirit Rush in, finds the charm, and that's Tier going down. Flag and Drag doesn't find the knockup, but the autos are coming through. They just don't have the damage. A nice bind from Matuk means Fire Mana is caught under turret. Their pants are down, and they are getting bullied by the Lux.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like when you're playing Ari, you're like, I always have ult available, then you use it, immediately gets done, you go, I am dead. I could have flashed that one, but no, it will be another kill for the Lux. It was an interesting pick that we were debating ourselves. I was like, where does this fit in? It fits in 3-0 by itself at 10.5 minutes.
Big Cloud, nice little spell shield, doesn't end up getting knocked out there, so Fang over Fang can't get the ball. This is Sivir versus Thresh Jarvan. Like, if you could just spell shield the knockup or spell shield the hook, it's so difficult for you to get engaged on.
Yeah, it's one of those great things about Sivir. It's like if you don't want to play ADC, play Sivir. You'll be fine, as we do see everything burn through. Matuk gets this movement from Jeff right here, just like making sure they're all sticking around but not going too deep. Great setup there, but here we see ult reset for Fire Mana. They ult in, it's on cooldown at that moment because it does have a small cooldown, and could have flashed it.
Yeah, now we can join game on the top side here. They can find the knockup into Jaffe. The Gladiator in the area. I think they're a little bit concerned about finding an engage, but the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Goodbye, Ambessa! Collapsed down by the Ord, and Amu's Tears will find the kills. Swifty and Fang over Fang just not able to provide any support.
Findings of Isaac this game for the moment. I did say this Amumu was going to run this game, and I can already see 100% kill participation. 100%.
Yeah, this script comes through. I mean, you did read it. I feel like that's kind of cheating when you're predicting things, but you know.
Yeah, it's actually a label off of my vape. I'm not gonna lie. Let's say FF on a coach, it's interesting.
A nice little...
It's just a really bad sign for what I'm putting in my body, but regardless, it told me the truth.
Potentially in trouble here. Does have that on the hunt. He's going to start going out of there. But even with the spell shield, I think will eventually get picked up. The charm, not even necessary, but Fire Mana lands it at the end. Just a kiss of death over to Jaded Cloud.
You can't spell shield love. God Gamer will go for more plates on this one. Technically, you can spell shield love, but that is an adult conversation. Bang over Bang, and Jeff God Gamer going to get some plates for themselves on the spot side. The movement coming out from OBS is quite good. They're using the Ahri as Ahri is intended to be used, with heavy roaming, constantly being around those fights, but they're just not finding enough of it. Yes, they're picking up 1 or 2 picks, but there's already so much more in the favor of Tux when it comes to just a Amumu pressure.
Yeah, and it also means that too, with the great wave clear that Lux has, already having that Luden's Companion, it's really difficult for Ahri to find a spot to roam where she's not losing CS, losing pressure. You can see that mid lane, 20 CS in advantage of Matuk, and we can't see the plates currently. The pixelation just a little bit too high, but I have to imagine it's high as Matuk looks to flash over the wall for the one shot on Fire Mana. Doesn't manage to find the full kill, but if those were pen boots or if it was one more amp tome, that's a dead Ahri.
Break this down really quickly. They don't have enough to go for the great fight, I don't think, here. But if they land a hook onto Matok, that might have changed things, but there was no trigger pull from Swifty.
Yeah, Fire Mana teleporting in. I think they wanted to wait for the Ahri to be there. She almost has that Spirit Rush up. And now going to end up getting zoned off of the objective. OverSoul split a little bit here. Have the potential to try and find some sort of pincer maneuver, but it's just Swifty and Fang here, the ones walking forward. As Jaded Cloud is going to pop beyond the hunt, they want to find the engage. Swifty forced to flash away from that bandage toss. Fire Mana on the backside looking for some potential entry into the fight as Jeff is landing some autos. Now they split up the members of Tux. The Cataclysm lands on it too, and Jeff Dog Gamer now free firing away. It's a nice final spark from Matuk. Could get enough damage. Goes in Rampage and ends up picking up 1, but Jeff God Gamer has the movement in the final hour. Wants to pick up blood. A triple kill for the Vayne. Flashing and dashing and running on through. Matuk now potentially the one in trouble, but with the safety of the tower, should be okay. But Fire Mana wants the revenge, gets the passive proc. No, the turret shot will still come through. RC Gladiator will find that last year, but a great fight for OverSoul.
Yeah, they completely forgot about the game plan. It's kill the Vayne. And they just didn't get enough on it. The Curse Sad Mummy didn't hit. The one bandage shot that did was immediately cleansed, and they're just giving too much space to the Vayne. And this game is Vayne versus Mumu. If the Mumu gets it right, Vayne dies. If the Mumu gets it wrong, Vayne will eliminate teams. And that's 3 kills over to their hypercarry. Yes, Mbessa does damage. Yes, Ari can change up a fight very quickly with a charm, but Vayne is their damage. That's the one you have to watch, and giving it time means you're running out of time.
Yeah, I mean, your first prediction may end up be the one coming true. GG Vayne, 5-0 already. We're gonna get a quick replay of what happened in that last fight. Like you said, the engage just didn't land on a Jeff God Gamer, but OverSoul find a great engage here.
Great engage, great movement as well. I'm just looking at Jeff God Gamer again, but by the time they actually get onto the Vayne, it's just too late. And Gladiator, playing like a Mumu does, is like screaming, crying behind them, and just not being able to do enough. Once you run out of bandage shots and Curse of the Sad Mummy, you are a very, very weak half tank, half damage. And Fireman, that last hurt shot was scaled.
It does so much damage. They heat up so much faster now. God Gamer the one in trouble. No flash, no cleanse. Lantern there, but it's very, very nearby. The blight binding comes through. A massive laser. The shutdown will be granted over to RC Gladiator, and David does not want to allow Thresh to get his escape. A nice counter punch there from Tux will land him a couple kills.
Going back to the toxicity report about my vape right now, it still says GG and Mumu. I'm telling you, no, like, it is one of those picks. He has opted into the Sunfire first, which as a solo queue and Mumu player, I don't go. I go for the Leandries, but there isn't that many heavy tanks, so it's fine to go Sunfire. They're not going to kill you that fast anyway.
Yeah, Matuk is public execution landing matters not in that situation. Firemana had a great position there, and it means that they pick up the revenge. As again, a very similar draft score to last time. It's been close through all of these games. OverSoul and Tux, obviously 2 teams that are very good at drafting.
Yeah, just also a quick update on the other game happening on Titan, as we do see the script crowd starting up. PMGD and XCDS, that's a slot. They are 1-1.
1-1 going into game 3. We did start a little bit later than them, so we'll potentially have a game 3 update for them if this game does go to 3. But hey, if it doesn't, we'll send you guys over there and you'll get to watch it yourselves over on twitch.tv/Titan Esports 2. Thankfully, you guys are here with us watching on the main stage. Tux here, up 1-0 in the series currently, looking to just finish out, I would say, it has been a strong early part of the season. If they end up going 2-0 over 2 very strong opponents, I think they're feeling very happy about their thoughts coming into the middle and late parts of the season.
Yeah, just check right now. There's no way that they're sending Vayne to go up against the Lux and the Ornn, right?
I mean, if it's just the Ornn, I'm pretty happy with that, as long as Thresh is near enough by that Ornn can't just press R and win.
Yeah, it's just Sivir should be able to push in the Ari, right? So it should still be an easy enough one. I know Sivir 0-3, and everyone that plays solo queue and sees a 0-3 ADC to go, this game is over, but Sivir still has so much pushing power. It's still going to go down if you just keep letting minions crash into it, and one of the most important things in competitive is keeping your mid tower alive. I think getting Jeff and Bang into that mid lane, getting that tower, getting that pressure even, and forcing more bodies into that mid opens up their side lanes more, because you have an Ari with TP and you have an Mbessa with TP. You can use that to your advantage if you just move them out.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of coming back to the Lux versus Ari matchup that we saw earlier on in the game. Ari getting a lot of great roams, and Fireman is playing this Ari very well, but the Matuk on this Lux was just able to continuously pressure the tower and force wave after wave into it. And you can see on the mini-map there, the mid lane tower for Tux is nearly full HP, but for OverSoul, it's almost done, and it's not going to be standing much longer if Sivir is allowed to continue to just auto-attack it. As potential fight here, they may have found RC Gladiator. Swift is going to get the flag and drag in. Do they have the damage to deal with the Samumu? No, they do not, especially not with the teleport in from David Held. Now the Ornn on his lonesome, just getting bursted down. This is what Vayne does. Shreds the tanks. Nice little sidestep there onto the light binding. And now Fireman dashes in with the Spirit Rush, finds the binding onto Matuk. It's a great tidal wave, but God Gamer has already found the autos. And OverSoul are taking control of game 2.
If you're not playing her in the Amumu, you're just going to get clipped. It is still a Vayne. You have to relax. And Ambessa, Rift Herald, topside, 2 towers taken, moving over to the mid. OVS in a complete flip from game 1. They're now controlling the mid to late game. They're in control here now. Who cares who gets boots? Boots are bait. Boots are bait.
Well, OverSoul is the one that has the boots. I think if I saw it. Jaffe, yeah, just a might bit overextended there, as Jaded Cloud will end up picking the skill of the game, but it will be Soul Point now available for OverSoul.
Both times blue side has been the side to unlock feats.
Hang on, I need to see the scorecard come up again, because I swear I saw those
Look
triumphant boots
up at the top of the screen, underneath Tux, just blue little icons.
I see those. I want to see the scoreboard. Yeah, triumphant boots are on the OverSoul side. I think it's just our producer not having updated that from the previous game.
I am going to scream loudly into the mic. It wouldn't matter because I have the Go XLR to stop me from
but it was Tux picking up First Blood as opposed to OverSoul picking up First Blood last game, so maybe First Blood is bait?
First Blood could be bait.
First Blood is just
bait. I think with all the nerfs that came through for boots, I don't think they're that important. I think it's just morale damage.
You sit on the triumphants until you're at like 5.5 items, and then you're like, okay, I guess I'll upgrade these to like a 6th item, so I don't have to lose the movement speed.
I think it depends on how much money you have.
I mean, yeah, if you're like an 80 carry, a Zeal item is probably better, but like if you're a tank and you really need that tenacity, keeping your merc treads feels invaluable.
And if you have Ionia, it's just kind of better to get it.
Yeah. That move
Ionia
is so good.
Yeah,
the Swifties as well, Swift marches.
Remember when they used to add things to the game that you were excited for?
I mean, I'm fairly excited for the tier 2. As a support especially, having a cheap item that I can grab after 2 legendaries feels really nice.
It's more of a rhetorical question of me going, nope, they haven't done that in years.
Well, certainly not on the loot side, but that's a different discussion. We're in the game part.
What about the ADC side? When's the last time we got an ADC that isn't a spreadsheet worth of words?
When was the last time we got a champion that wasn't a spreadsheet worth of words? Set?
Yeah, but no one likes that.
I love Set, excuse you. I loved when I could play him as support. That was fun.
And then they stopped that. And it stopped
yeah.
being fun.
I mean, it's still fun, but it's just not very good. It's like Pantheon.
Let's go back to the voracious. Let's go back and talk about this.
Yes, more Guardian Angels, more Guardian Angels, more revives. It surely cannot possibly go wrong this time. We are seeing a slight item here for Jaffe in the isolated top side, despite being down 0-3 to 2-1. Has at least 2 items completed, or now finishing up that second one with the upgraded Sunfire Cape as well. He's gonna have a lot more tank stats, but at least with the Eclipse, Jaffe should be able to fight a little bit. I would hope in the 1v1. If it becomes a 2 or a 3, no chance, but maybe Ambessa could survive on the 1-on-1.
We'll have to talk about that. We'll see how that one goes, as we do have, once again, Jeff God. We saw this in the bot side as well, sitting in a bush, just waiting for stuff to happen around, as Vayne, you see the Wit's End coming out as well, so a little bit scared of that all-in damage from the Amumu and the Lux if they combo all their abilities together. Vayne is going bye-bye. The Wit's End might keep them alive for an extra second with that Knight's Vow on Fresh. Also coming through with a shield or 2.
On it as well. The 20% tenacity on that item is so good for on-hit 80 carries.
You're not to say that out loud. ADCs will actually start building it. Shush.
Yes, please do. Look, I want the item to be nerfed. I think tenacity is way too easily accessible.
All my ADCs are Mel or Way. Like, I don't want them knowing about this, okay? You gotta be quiet about it. Secret tech.
Secret tech. It's stat that is listed on the item. You're absolutely right. We are seeing the Otacon started up here. We are seeing the Otacon started up here. It was on vision momentarily. I didn't see any pings go over, but teleports and movement tells me that Tux knows all about it. And now it's just a matter of can they get to it. Bang over bang. Finds the hook over the wall, and they want the damage on the Batu, but it might just mean they're going to get engaged on. Jamie can't find the knock them off of that call to form shot. And now Fireman is here. Charm manages to miss. Has that Spirit Rush looking for the damage onto Jaded Cloud, but the Sivir still tanking it up with that barrier. A massive curse of the sad moment on the other side of the fight. There's the Amumu you were talking about, but Jeff God gave her still alive and still free-firing. Vanish shots will land, but how much can Gladiator do on his lonesome? Flashes over the wall, but it's right into the waiting arms of the kiss of death from Fireman once again.
Yeah, that was the Amumu engage we were looking for. It lands onto Jeff God Gamer, but it took them too long to get there. They were not in the right position. Akatan is looking like an option here, Jeff. We'll get spotted to come around that corner.
Oh, buddy. Jeff, you don't want to walk up too close to this guy. He can't kill you. A great little condemn, though, is going to keep him safe just a little bit longer. But Ord makes the kill happen. You cannot go melee mode versus this man.
Oh, I'm holding Hedwig and just want to pop their head off.
80 carries and going melee. Name a more iconic duo.
Oh, just internally like that Discord call is a war right now. It is a civil war in that call. Yeah, just a little bit too overzealous there, I think, from the Vayne, but they have returned now. They've now completed their Gwynso's Rage Blade, which means sometimes you won't even see it. You'll get the Ghost Auto and someone will explode, which is one of my favorite things that Riot have at the moment as a bug, which happens quite often with Vayne and Varus, where you'll get Ghost Autos.
Yeah, it's just so much damage because of the items they have. This whole point, he's going to be denied, but it is going to allow OverSoul to just get full control over this Baron and Otacon. Yeah, you pick up the Cloud Dragon, but I think you lose Voracious Otacon.
There's a good chance they could fight this after with the magic resist and armor losses, and then maybe try and convert it into a Baron, but they're actually also making it in time as Bane wasn't there in time, but the ult already used.
Night burn, Calder Force got used offensively. Fang for Fang forces Flash away, but now Swift potentially looking for an engage. Unstoppables over that tidal wave. They just want the damage down onto the Ornn. They want their one pick, and they're looking for more. Jeff God Gamer flashing forward. They want the kills. They want the damage, but can they find anybody? Charm doesn't manage to land a nice sidestep from the tube, using that on the hunt movement speed. But the Vayne autos do so much damage. You have to be careful. Spell Shield keeping them safe from the condemn damage. But it doesn't mean that we get the thresh stack check in. Thank you, Golden. It doesn't mean that OverSoul are going to turn that into a Baron.
Support lives matter. You stay out of this. Thresh.
Hey, I'm a support player. Thresh is doing a great job. He's going to get a little damage down, but I think the health bar might just be too low. And with Gladiator in the area, yeah, they're just going to have to peel up this Baron. They got to go.
Think about this one though. How are they going to play this one? It will be a straight ult versus
yeah, that's just two withdrawals. Goodbye, bottom lane. OverSoul's bottom lane is sent back to the fountain.
Yeah, that is a... They didn't even get anything out of that. It's 400 gold.
Yeah, look, revives on neutral objectives have never gone wrong in League of Legends, ever. Don't talk about Otacon, and don't talk about Chemtech Soul, and don't talk about the Scion Revive, and don't talk about Carpet Passing, and don't talk about Old Age
split. I'm going to be rocking in a corner.
What's the saying? Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it.
I just want to go back to dragons just being gold.
I'm gonna be real. I think the elemental dragons on their own, great change. Some of the souls that Riot has tried to introduce, a little bit less cool.
Hextech.
Hextech's a little strong.
A little strong is a
it's a little
strongest
strong.
Of words. I'm not going to go into that. Then Chemtech. Remember when there used to be smoke all over the map?
Yeah, the revive Chemtech where you got to come back as a Scion passive.
Yeah. Then they're even Cloud in its current iteration with some champions. Cloud, not you.
Oh, Cloud stunned up by the condemned. The flanking Vayne means that Jaded Cloud is going to go down, and we're getting what is essentially, I think, a full reverse of the bottom lanes and really the situation of the game from game number 1. Tux had early game advantages, but now OverSoul are just dominating the mid and late game.
They're taking it all down right now as they are strongly in the driver's seat. They're currently on the Baron. They'll be setting up quite nicely for that. What is your idea here? What is the plan here? As it's going to be an ult straight into it, or it's not going to give enough. RC Gladiator has kind of lost their steam after game 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many ways that you can get into a pit into a game like this. Can't let the recall over the wall, but they're on Vision. Swifty misses the flag and drag. The hook is still gonna land, but that's just embarrassing. Chris the Sad Mummy finds 2, but it's just compensation prizes. Fang over Fang wants more blood. Gets the hook over the wall. Nobody takes the lantern though, so has to end up just backing off. That's a painful moment. You hit a great hook, but nobody takes the lantern, so you just can't get anything out of it. I think he's dead, actually. Yeah, goodbye. Matu with the first shuts him down, but now it's the charm from Fireman and the mid laners popping off in this game, but OverSoul retained control.
Jaded Cloud ran to the aid of their team, pressed on the hunt, got charmed, and sprinted directly into 4 people. They were gone. There was no getting them back. As once again we see the repeated "Oh my god, that Vayne does damage" comment.
Yep.
Just like soundboard that for future.
Every time a tank is playing against Vayne, the first like 10 levels are like, haha, I'm gonna be so tanky. Vayne, the true damage isn't even gonna matter. And then you take one silver bolt proc and you're like, oh my god, Vayne does so much damage. What the hell?
Oh my god, I'm a mage. As we see, is that an upgrade for the Nami item?
I don't.
No, not
see
yet,
the
not yet.
outline. I think he was just building his own item. Yeah.
No, I was just seeing that there wasn't one for the Amumu, and I was like, why do you hate this Amumu so much? Like, I think that would have been the one I would have done over the Sivir. I think that's a little more important, but maybe they're waiting for Cornmail.
I think it must have just been a convenience thing where like Ornn really needs the defensive stats and Amumu was dead. Sivir was there. Fine is gonna land on a Swifty, eats a ton of damage out of that Lux combo. Not enough to find a KO thanks to that sweetness and triumphant merge. But if Gladiator can't find a way in, this dragon is just swiftly getting chunked down. Gladiator actually unspotted on this flank, is just gonna get into the back line, hits the bandage toss, the Christmas Magnum finds 2, but in the meantime, the rest of his team is getting dove. He just took a little bit too long. Jappy finds the mid laner, now Fireman gets to dash away to his heart's content. Godgamer finds Gladiator, and with no jungler, this should just be the Cloud Soul over to OverSoul, but they want more blood, they want more kills. Fang over Fang flashes for the hook. Jappy goes unstoppable. They go be able to find the clean ace as Fireman dashes into the wall, bonks his head on it, but I don't think it matters very much. They just want to find the end of the game.
Yeah, we're going to see Ornn versus... We're going to see a god versus a king as he's going to win this one, and for some reason I feel like Jarvan might have this one, as it is a sad state of affairs. Good unstoppable, but you're dying to minions now as well, as the ace will finally come through. OBS will take game 2, and that last fight was horrendous.
It was a good idea from Tux. They had Gladiator on the flank, but it just took a little bit too long to find the engage angle, and it meant that the rest of OverSoul were able to just dive and dive and dive as their comp wants to do with the Ambessa, the Jarvan, and the Thresh.
Yeah. God Gamer was even on the back of that fight for most of it, got cursed to the sad mummied, and then as I kind of like panned my eyes back to the rest of the fight, oh, they're dying anyway. There was just too much of a lead for OverSoul after all of the Vayne shenanigans, or as we call them now, Shirogans. I'm keeping that. That is staying with us.
You're committing to the bit, and I gotta respect that. But I mean, it's just like you said, it's FF Vayne, but it's just for the other side instead. There's a Vayne on the enemy team against 2 tanks. GG.
I honestly thought the Amumu had the opportunity there to set themselves up, and it looked so good. Gladiator had everything they needed. They continued to get into those fights, get good stuns, set themselves up nicely. I think they were 3-0 towards the start of the game, and then it just all fell apart. So I think the better you win the mid game, the more you lose.
Apparently, early game does not matter. It's all about that mid and late game macro, and OverSoul showed how they can pull it off in this game, and we've got a best of 3 here. We're going to be jumping into game number 3 after we come back from this break, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be jumping into draft for that game number 3. See you then. Ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping right back in here to the draft for game number 3, our last game of the night. It's OverSoul Esports Income. It's Tuxedo Magnum. Sides have swapped one more time. The Tarek will be taken away once again by OverSoul. They do not want to see that pick on blue side.
Garner, Volibear,
Warwick.
Warwick. Yeah, it's nothing's going to change. We still have the same 10 bans on one. We also have all the other ones coming through, so I might finally see a Kalista or Varus Caitlyn.
With no Jinx, with no Vayne, with no Sivir, no Kog'Maw, surely Kalista or Varus have to come through now, right? If they're not going to come through in the ban phase, they got to come through in picks. But we are seeing the same.
Is
again.
One of the only ADCs that not everyone can play. It is very, very difficult to play Kalista correctly. So I'm not expecting them to know it. But if you don't, I swear to God, I'm going to find your coaches. Angle them.
Well, we're gonna see what the possible first pick here is for OBS. They've done a lot of bottom lane first picks here. They're very happy to just blind pick AD carry. So I wonder if we will continue to see that, as it's gonna be the Karma first pick. Now, Fang over Fang. I'm gonna be the one to find your coaches if I see a Zazak's Realm Spike in that inventory.
We spoke about this in week 1. Speaking about how
And
Moonstone just do it right.
He's got nerfed again.
Yeah, so just go full shields. Like, it works so much better. I'm also keeping an eye on the other game, on the other string. So if anyone ever sees me looking over this way, I'm just seeing how the other game is going in the corner of my eye. So, the Wukong.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said at the top of the day. We're still gonna see your Misfortune. We're still gonna see the Wukongs. And Misfortune Wukong is a good combo. The Cyclone into the Bullet Time is a decent little not back and forth, as that's, as far as I'm aware, not enabled. Let me double check real quick on disabled champions. When is... No, actually enabled starting this week. Yeah, Mel is enabled. She's free to play. We get our first Mel here for Vanquisher.
I'll go for now.
We were talking about her at the top of the day. She is currently pretty dang strong, although picking a hook champion versus her leads to some funny interactions. I really hope we could see the Nautilus hook thrown out, Mel gets to reflect it, and then Mel gets
doing this. We're not
Yoinked.
talking about this champion. We're talking about everything else around. We're not doing this. I'm not doing that.
We're simply going to ignore the fact that she exists in this draft. So we're seeing Karma mid laner and then Trundle. Trundle as a pick versus the Wukong and the Nautilus, I think, is pretty good, actually. Trundle does great into these champions that stack a lot of resistances. So Aftershock champions.
All the time against a Mel.
I thought we weren't talking about her. What happened?
I'm not talking about it.
Well, we get to cast it as well. Isn't that great?
No, it's not. No, we have to go. Oh my god, a perfect engage coming in from Tux. Oh, Mel pressed one button and everyone on the enemy team is now dead.
Look, if we see a late game situation with that happening, I'm just saying it'll be hype. It's also going to be the Braum, so that means that's Karma top for Jaffe. And
Mel Karma bot lane? Or
it
Mel
could be
Braum?
it could be Mel Braum bot lane, but I think that would be genuinely very bad. It might be. I don't like that. Especially versus the hook champion Nautilus. This is... Look, Mel is broken right now, but objectively, this is not good.
Have OVS run out of champions?
I mean, that was something you were talking about at the top of the day. This is a team with very deep champion pools, with the ability to play kind of whatever. They have a lot of these unique picks that they fall back on.
But like, this just feels like they've reached into a bag and started pulling out letters and started scrabbling it.
I genuinely, if the Karma or the Mel was a standard AD carry, I wouldn't hate this draft. If you had
Calling the police
Mel
on this draft.
like Mel mid, Yone top with a standard AD carry, or like Karma top, Mel mid with a standard AD carry, I wouldn't be upset at this, but
It is Mel bot.
yeah, it's Mel bottom lane versus Nautilus. Look, the funny interaction is gonna happen, and the Mel is going to die for it, and I'm going to laugh.
Oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I actually feel like I'm like itching all over. It just... Oh, look, Tux beat Dorado, so I have to put my fate in Tux regardless. No, like, I do think Mel is very strong.
Yes.
Has a lot that can be done within just the champion itself. It has an overloaded kit. as we see with every single new champion that comes out every
She's
single
got her
time.
W, yeah.
Yeah, but like alongside that, also the fact that she's like, if I hit 2 of my abilities and then auto attack you, you suddenly die. If you don't, I press R, you suddenly die. And she has a Kartus ult based on the damage she does, no matter where you are.
As long as the damage is on you within a certain amount of time, sure. She can't hit the whole.
You get a black
map.
fire torch and it stays for a little bit longer.
Yeah, for a little bit longer, sure. I actually don't know if that applies her passive. I think Brand is
it
the
does.
only one that like it actually
No,
does.
it did week 1 and they hotfixed that.
Yeah, because Brand passive is the only one that can apply spell.
You know what the
effects.
worst thing was? She's the only champion in the history of League of Legends to launch with a 53% win rate above Emerald, and they said, yeah, that's balanced.
I think a lot of that was
You
also
want to
people
know
not knowing
what
how
the
to
last
play
win
against
rate
her.
was of the last release champion on release?
Who was the last release champion? Mbessa? I imagine like 40 something percent because even with all her
32.
dashes, she's an energy champion. 52.
32.
Wow.
32.
Oh, 32. 32. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because why? Because people play it in every role possible
And
stupidly.
then it absolutely just
Thanks.
decimated.
Yeah, Mel didn't. Why is that?
Long range mage, simple to play kit, reflect, very easy safety on her W.
I'll help you find the word. What happens if I snap spaghetti into what is it?
Is it broken?
It's broken. It's broken. I also said that to annoy our producer who has Sicilian roots, and they probably hate me for doing the spaghetti joke, but regardless, I'm gonna get screamed at. But yeah, it's broken. It's very, very strong.
You can be screamed at later beyond me. I think Mel is strong currently. I don't know if she's broken anymore. I think this game will be very telling because you've got the funny hook interaction with Nautilus. It's great versus the Misfortune ulti. But you also have long range poke with Xerath, and you have really good non-disengageable champions with Olaf and Nautilus. Like, you can't stop these guys from getting in, and even Wukong will manage to make his way through. Mel can only
buy
be
space
safe
for
and
Mel
reflect
if they win.
so long.
You
How
know,
much
like
can their comp really buy from her? You've got
almost
Braum.
Yonalt.
You've got Braum and maybe Yone if he's not using that ulti to try and like damage a backliner. I don't know.
Forget to what's it called? A lot of other champions in the game that have the same kind of style, where it's like if you put down your ult in a certain area, let's say for example Rumble, yes it does damage, but it also applies a slow. The difference is when Braum does it, it's a heavy slow, and it changes the tempo of a fight. We talk about tempo as an overall macro sense more than anything else, where we say, yes, everyone's swinging left to right with tempo, macros, they sway, everything's going so fast, pace, etc. But a tempo in a team fight can be very heavily affected by the very, very simple fact that if your carries cannot walk faster to the enemy that they need to hit, that changes the tempo of a fight to a point where Braum's ult is no longer just a knock-up. That slow alone will change it. For example, you get a 5-man slow with Braum. No one gets knocked up, they all step on it. Yone's hitting you with his ult. You're not getting away unless you flash.
I also want to point out, now that we're loading onto the Rift here for our last game of the night, we've got Ignite on Fire Mana on this Yone, and we have Phase Rush on Jaffe on this Karma, as the invade is red here. Swifty gets the ward down, but now potentially in trouble. Swifty gets the stun, but Swifty doesn't get movement up. So far, it's just health bars traded, poke traded for poke. Swifty is going to lose that flash, as Even's going to pop the ghost and just start running people down, but if everybody walks away, it ends up being one summoner for one, but I'll take a flash for ghost trade any day of the week.
I think Olaf forgot that they're level 1. It's like,
They
yeah, I'm
pressed
going to go
those-
in
they
and
pressed
like
R and nothing happened,
Q
and
and
we're like,
E, and then going W, get all my health back, and then realize they throw one axe miss and go, where my abilities at?
Wait, why I pressed R? Why am I not running faster and going? "Grrr!"
Looks like the jungle DC'd by that note. We're going through all of the previous messages. Keep going, producer. I want to remember what games these are from. Yeah, we'll see a message from Kid Live Worlds. Ari with Lichbane is fine.
We do have the bottom lane here. They're just kind of trading poke with each other. This is what Mel does in the early game. She has really easy farm because, like, back in Collective, she just got released when it executed everything. Mel passive can execute everything, so she can just pick up last hits pretty much for free and has a lot of easier time last hitting CSing. She also can one-shot traps like Nidalee Trap or Teemo Shrooms because they get executed under a certain HP threshold, which is really wacky, but also very fun in ARAM because I get to make the Teemo sad instead of me being sad. Great.
I suppose that's a good perk to have when it comes to playing ARAMs.
If you can have a ARAM that makes a Teemo sad, it's a good pick for me. I like it.
Ever got on Melon Earth?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. That's gotta be disgusting.
Yeah, the level 1s get kind of fun when you take W first. Iron Man is going to get a good trade. No, misses the knockup. If that knockup landed, that could have been end of the lane for Matok right there and then. But we return to this champion I don't want to speak of. Are you playing with a name for?
She who shall not be named. To pull around.
It's not quite Voldemort. It's more like, I don't know. I'm thinking like more like. Never mind. There comes the root on top of that one. It's just 3 damage.
On the land as well. Not a lot of it, but has the flash, has the Spider-Man hook, so we'll just be able to walk their way out of it at the end. Loses a flash, but you got max flash models. You're feeling okay.
Yeah, they're gonna actually contest for this. I love Chris Sunga. Get that off my screen right now. Get that off my screen. I don't want to see that. Right now it's getting rooted up, and that's a big fight. No flash.
There's no flash. This is when it matters. And goodbye, Nautilus. But the first one actually ends up going over to Gladiator on that Wukong. Now God Gamer, the one on the run, a double kill over to this Wukong. Jada Cloud is gonna eat a little bit of damage on the back half of that, but early game Mel is not able to do a ton of damage, so it just ends up being a slightly positive trade for Tux.
Yeah, they do manage to get 2 for 1 there, and they do get the Scuttle Crab, we gotta remember. Smites out for Harambe. That joke's even funnier because we have the monkey as well, we have Wukong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 2 for 1. Just like Tux. Fang over Fang, now moving up to assist with the Scuttle Crab take. That's not the same as Grubs, buddy, but I appreciate the love you're showing on the mustache side of the
For junglers, you gotta appreciate when you're supporting.
Do I have to support OBS because they have the mustache guy and I have the mustache?
I mean, they also have She Who Shall Not Be Named, as she might actually end up dying here, as potentially in a bit of trouble here. Does have the flash, so no hook gets thrown. Tyr, you could have had the funny interaction. Just throw the hook. Oh, I'm disappointed.
We're looking for very different things in this game.
I want to see the funny. That's what I'm here for.
I am the funny. I'm a weird guy, I think, at this stage. The slow pace starts the games just rattle me because I just love the LPL style of let's scrap.
Yeah, it does feel strange that a lot of our games this split have been very slow to start. I think the pro play is starting to trickle down a lot more in terms of how people play in amateur leagues. And they're being a lot less like gung-ho aggressive because teams are getting coaches now and having like the general skill of players as well is also increasing.
Analyst teams. There's analyst teams also for some of these, which I think an analyst is more important than a coach.
Oh yeah, probably. But the point of that being, the teams are getting a lot better over time, which means they're making a lot less silly, goofy, haha, let's just kind of fight this 2v2 and see if we win kind of things.
Yeah. So if anyone's asking about the analyst versus coach thing, because we have a bit of time, because nothing's really going to happen here for the next little while. A coach can tell you where to be, an analyst can tell you why. I think that's the biggest difference for me.
The why matters a lot. I remember when I was playing sports as a younger child, a lot of the times the coaches would say, I can't always tell you where you need to go in a game. You have to be able to understand why you have to be there. Like, I was playing soccer a lot, so when I was playing like center back, left back, it was always like, hey, you need to understand where on the field you need to be to either stop the play from happening or support team from being, or support your team from getting counter-engaged on. And the understanding of the why was much more important than actually where I would be. I could explain why I was standing somewhere. That mattered a lot more.
Yeah, as a striker, the most important why was why do you need left back?
Hey! Stop pushing me in for you. Excuse you.
I played nearly at professional level.
Oh, really?
I get to make those jokes. Yeah, I played for Sheffield United as a reserve. I had a contract with them for a year. and then I gave up professional football.
Highest I got to was like state level, not even like college, just like.
I got
like
paid.
Groups. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't. Yeah, Ted Lasso. That's. I don't know if only Americans now know football because of Ted Lasso, but like it's so worth it, and it is one of the best shows ever. Roy Kent, the person he's based on, is my hero. He's also from Cork, for our producer whose ancestry is from Cork. Gotta be love some Roy Keane, but we do jump back into League of Legends universe and not Ted Lasso universe, even though I can talk about that all day. Still a slow-paced game. We're not seeing too much in terms of even objective fights. It's just literally laning as we see back to the Karma.
Being used for wave clear, that's how you know it's a slow game. Xerath's using his ulti for vision and for wave clear. He's gonna get the wave into mid lane. Fireman is gonna be pulled away from the dragon. It will slow down the take a little bit, but his jungler's taking grubs on the other side. It will be early dragon for early grubs. That's kind of just how the slow game goes.
Well, to be honest, previously OVS got both Drake and Grubs in their early game victory on blue side. They did lose that game.
And now that it's been traded again, does that mean OVS wins? Because they didn't get first blood either. Gladiator picked up first blood, and so far first blood has a 0% win rate.
So does Mel.
Yeah, because we haven't seen her yet. She also technically has 100%.
Not my point. Freddy, not the point. Stats don't lie.
Results-based analysis, yeah. I love ignoring context.
But so far, we can have a look over the course of the game. So far, top lane, Jaffe is doing quite well up here, has a CS advantage and is keeping all that down. And in bot side, someone's dying.
Fang of a Fang, the Ignite's ticking away. It won't pick up the kill, just barely. One more auto, one more tick of that make it rain. Would have found it as Jeff God Gamer will reflect the auto attack onto Jaded Cloud. A massive pull. Now coming through, Tear finds a pull, and Jeff God Gamer potentially the one to trouble. The bullet time cuts through the Unbreakable, but it will be traded 1-for-1 as Jeff God Gamer will find that passive proc and pick up the kill on the Nautilus.
Yeah, take out the Nautilus. It is a great trade from the position they were in, but Fang over Fang did die as well, so 1-for-1 overall. But that does get Tux the feat of Warfare as Karma finally loses the trade against the Olaf, as they are going to recall in their face. Interesting.
Yeah, again, trades back and forth. Both by the Gladiator here, let's have that Warrior Trickster. Swifty does a little trolling with the pull, doesn't manage to get a lot of usefulness there, but Gladiator wants a re-engage here. This is dangerous territory, though. Does have that Cyclone, but Swifty's playing Trundle with the lethal tempo, and a beautiful Fate Sealed is going to find Matuk over the wall. A double kill to the Trundle in the jungle, and OverSoul managed to retain parity in the game.
There's only so many champions in the League of Legends universe that when they flash into a wall, I imagine like the old cartoons like Wile E. Coyote, them hitting the wall and going 2D. Wukong is one of them. And it is such a joy to my little autistic spinning brain to see that. But Gladiator does die flashing into the wall. Maybe a little bit too aggressive going in. Oh, we get to watch it again, do we? Oh, we get to see that. Top side.
I didn't even see this happen. Yeah, Jaffe, phase rush be damned. David just ran him down.
Yeah, didn't have the ult available to get the healing back. So that's the most important thing when you're playing as Karma. Holding on to that ult to make sure you get that big heal to come through as you use it on the Mantra W. But no, it just didn't have it available. And Olaf says, cool, I see what you're trying to do. You will die for it.
Yeah, I think it's especially big that David has the tier 2 boots rushed and Jaffe doesn't even have tier 1. So if Ghost gets popped, if a Undertow lands, even with the phase rush that Jaffe tacked into this matchup, Olaf can still run you down. Like, that slow is brutal.
It is, isn't it, Coach? He's going to get knocked off here by Fireman and Swifty, waiting in the wings, but not seeing the same angle that they saw from Fireman. Here now on the roam as we see it again in the top side. Do they have the ult? Oh, they missed the Q.
They missed the auto, so it falls off. Jaffe does have the shield, and I think David's just a little bit too worried about falling under tower. And hey, there's that Mantra W. Jaffe comes to full HP, and David, I think your time has come. Swifty now on a killing spree, 4 kills and a Titanic Hydra in the pocket of the Trundle.
Looks like if over, there's the slow to come through as well. I was talking about earlier. Matok now in trouble. That's a free kill over. Boys with that spawn. They've got control of mid.
Engage on its here, but, you know, he's a tanky Nautilus, and without the Mellow to just go into the game, it should be fine. Gladiator wants Fang over Fang now, Unbreakable up to try and keep him tanky, but a bonk over the head. Gladiator just finds that one. There's the interaction. Nautilus gets pulled in, but it's bad for tier. No, it wasn't funny at all. It was just sad. Jeff God Gamer now just gonna be able to pick up a double kill as Gladiator had nowhere to go in that exchange.
Yeah, that was a funny interaction. It's like the drama mask of the sad face, smiling face on both sides, and it just flipped immediately onto the Nautilus. As yeah, that's gonna be Grubs now picked up.
No.
Yeah, they took my humor from me. It just went dark way too quickly. It's Jimmy Carr, but you jumped in halfway through. But Swifty will get the 3 grubs, which will even up the grub count. The Drake is now spawning, so it's going to be a very fast reset here for someone to get down to that one. As Speed, Fang over Fang, doesn't care. Just going to try to fight this one out. Fireman also in the area. They will get the stun, they will get the pressure, but there is vision deep in that jungle. They know that the Trundle is going to be on the way, so it'll be a good call here what to do next. Just hit the Misfortune with a present.
Turret plating will soon fall.
It's a present for you, and it's like the Pokemon present. Sometimes it's healing and sometimes it's damage, and this time it was damage. This might lands on the Gladiator. Warrior Trickster out. Bullet time used very aggressively. A nice block of thing means not a lot of value, and OverSoul just continued to have domination over these choke points. And versus a Xerath Misfortune team, that's not something you should be able to say.
Yeah, so double Drake, 3 grubs, OBS will be the feat as well completed for them. So it will be first tower will be the deciding factor here on who is going to get that one set up for themselves. And it's, I'm trying to look at the tower health as I go around. Mid both healthy, bot both healthy. It's just top side. It's just top side in favor of Jaffe. Oh,
Jaffe doesn't manage to land the run, but the phase rush movement speed, that's why it's so good versus this Olaf matchup. He can't run you down if you can't be slowed, and unfortunately, the Nautilus can be CC'd as he's going to get knocked up and locked down. Now Gladiator looking to potentially get into the backline. He's going to stun from the passive, but Jaded Cloud finds the kill onto Braum first. Now Swifty in the area. Gladiator pushing way too far forward, has the ulti, but ends up getting the kill anyway. Warrior Trickster's over the wall, but Swifty has that domination on him. The subjugation locks it down at Jaded Cloud. Yeah, Yoda's a champion. You're not getting away from that one. Shut down. Over to Fireman.
everything's happening now. For all the quietness we've had in the early game, we're finally starting to see just skirmish after skirmish. More importantly though, Swifty is the one kind of doing all the damage right now, and Trundle is very strong. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about Mel. It's not even...
Jaffe, unfortunately, I think, will not be able to survive this one, even with the Mantra W. David, actually, with the flash, ends up walking out. I didn't even realize they still had that summoner room. I would assume they would have used it as Fear looks for a re-engage. David's not in the area, though. Fang over Fang is, so now Tyr the one in trouble. This is the kind of scrappiness I was talking about earlier in the game, as I think this should just be a dead Nautilus. Hang on, we gotta hit our skill shots first. Fang over Fang finds it, but now that's gonna be Jaffe will die, should die, throw an axe, he doesn't have it! Jeff God Gamer saves his top laner.
He's gonna make me go bald. I don't get it. It just feels like there's disconnects every single time. As we go back to the mid, and folks just getting Yona'd.
Yeah, that sure is Yone, alright. As the first turret was also picked up by OverSoul, so they do have those triumphant boots. You can see all 5 of those members with their pretty little red boots. They're very confident about their chances of victory in this game.
Yeah, OBS has built up a really, really strong lead. They have the Drakes. A lot of it is on Swifty right now, who has kind of lost so far to Gladiator, I would say. Gladiator has looked a lot stronger as a jungler over the course of this one. But I will bite the bullet here and say most of the winning kind of pressure has been from the ADCs. It has been Jeff and Jaded kind of 1v1 for most of this in terms of who's going to win them the game. And yeah, it's been the Kog'Maw, it's been the Vayne. This time around, it's Mel, and with a 6-1 and 3 Mel on your team, I don't see it really losing.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, again, the possibility that later on into the game, you have like the Wukong and the Olaf behind it. Ignore the reflect, and walk into her regardless, but now with the Fed Trundle as well, with the armor providing utility, with also the Braum being there to provide utility, I may have underrated how good this comp actually is. That's not entirely result-based analysis. I'm just looking now at the amount of defensive utility that this team has to protect their Mel, to protect their Yone, and, you know, standard AD carry be damned, the comp looks good.
Standard ADC does not matter anymore.
I guess not.
It has been a solo Q trope that has slowly been leaking into the competitive scene, that ADC as a role has been eliminated once again. I think we all remember when Reckless got sold for Whipple. Gladiator backline.
Does have big shield, has the flash and the arcane as well. Calls down the arcane. The right of the arcane can't even find the last hit. As Fireman in the meantime topside does manage to go on a killing spree. 1v1s. The poor Olafus. Hangover Fang is feeling good about this game currently.
Feeling something.
Feeling a little too good for that.
Yeah, a little bit too good, but yeah, it's one of those tropes that we have been talking about is APCs now appearing into the broadcast. Hopefully around a million.
Yeah, managed to curve the bullet, but I don't think it's good for Tira. Swifty was in the area, runs very quickly towards the Nautilus and picks up 100 gold for himself. Oh, OverSoul is
the Angelina
feeling.
Jolie team. That's all that was. Covering the bullet straight into your own head.
Now that's it. It's the only reason I know that movie. So,
That's really weird one. I haven't heard of Nicholas in years, but an all-in coming through. Sees the wrist held on mid Swifty, just going straight onto the back line,
yeah,
just whacking
this is
away.
what Fed Trundle does. He's just gonna run forward and make their life miserable. Subjugation on the RC Gladiator, ticking. Slurps him up. Goodbye, Wukong. Yeah, Swifty is pretty bad this game. Vanquisher Fang wants to fight MVP, but doesn't have the Unbreakable. Pops it a little bit too late. The Arcane comes down. It doesn't manage to find any of these kills, so everyone from Tux will walk away outside of RC, but it's just OverSoul domination here for game number 3.
Yeah. Look, this is a sad state for game 3. I was hoping for so much more and so much more depth. Instead, we just get Mel.
My question is, did the teams just like gentleman's agreement to not pick it in the first 2 weeks, or did we all, like me, forget that she's enabled this one?
I think someone was looking at one of those sites that tells you win rates for teams bot lane, and they just picked that.
They saw Mel up there, were like, hey, Mel's pretty good right now. Their coach was like, hang on, Mel's still disabled, right? And like, checking the disabled champions tab in the Discord and was like, oh, no, she's enabled. Yeah, go ahead, pick her.
Yeah, it's one of those like perhaps Vayne moments.
Dylan, we have to go Vayne.
Yeah, Dylan, we have to go Mel. And this is what happens. This is what happens. It was the Vayne the last time. Now it's the Mel. Something tells me the ADC is running these as yeah, it was. It's working out really well, and I do like the APCs coming into the bot lane in terms of like diversity. I also would like just more than 4 ADCs being strong at the moment.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fearless. We're supposed to have more of these EV picks, but you know, sometimes you just get a little sad of like, oh, this would have been like a cool Callista game to watch, or maybe a cool Caitlyn game this year, even Varys. Zeri even, yeah, we've seen Zeri Yumi in the LCK, which is weird for me to say.
Raven, Fortune,
yeah, like there are plenty of potential viable bottom laners, but sometimes the comp just calls for an APC better, and sometimes your bottom laner just says, hey, I want to play Mel this game, and you know, you pick them Mel.
Like, I see no issue when it comes to like picking Yone's mid, going for that APC bot. But don't take Karma top as well. That just makes me sad. Makes me sad. As the big engagement in the bottom RC Gladiator is by himself out on this one. Jaffy's going to get damage off on this nice and easy.
That does not matter. Bullet time tickled Swiftly, I think, for a second there. You're now forced on the run. Gareth finds some poke over the other side of the wall, right at the Arcane landing the shots, but Hangover Fang's pretty dang tanky. In the meantime, Jeff God Gaber is just launching nukes across the wall. Goodbye Nautilus reflects back that double up, and Jaded Cloud has to just eat a bullet to the face, and let's be really sad about it. This is just an unfortunate game for Tux Game 3. They had such good momentum coming into the series, too.
Yeah, they picked up a good couple of wins, but OVS really need this one to keep their season alive on the other side of things. As, yeah, look, it's It's going to be a really tough one from this point out. They have an 8-1 and 4 Trundle to deal with, who's now completed their 2 items. They're incredibly strong with such expensive items as well. Like Titanic is not a cheap item, and Trinity is not a cheap item. As we see, their gold.
If your jungler's the first one across 10,000 gold and it's at 20 minutes, you're feeling pretty confident about your ability to win the game. I hope we see Jaffe transition to more of a utility build at this point. You have a Fed jungler, you have a Fed Mel, you have a Yone who hasn't died yet on your team. Like, if you just pick up an Ardent Sensor or a Moonstone, even though you can just win it. Fire Mana forces the flash out of here, manages to hook his way out of the Fate Sealed, but I don't think it really matters. Ignite procs and Fire Mana goes on a rampage.
Fire Mana has enough mana for fire as he takes that one out with the Ignite of Swifty now walking forward. Tries to find Harambe, will not find them, and they will send them back into that cage.
Yeah, back to the combo builds. I know Lady Karma is so good when you press R2 and somebody gets too but if the team has like a Trillium or like an Ardent Sensor for your Yone for your Turtle, they win the game. You don't have to do anything. You press RE, you hit your team, and you're like, okay guys, go ahead, win the game for me. You get to just sit back and enjoy. It's a great time.
It's literally just from Chainsaw Man when you do the wolf symbol with your hand. And they just die.
You say, go
It's
get him,
like
boy. Sick him.
Fun. It's just done. We gotta start talking about anime on this because just tangent on tangent. But regardless, this is going to be, I think, a really good example for us to watch how OVS can close a game. It's one of those things we do talk about when it comes to anything kind of across all the leagues. It's like, yes, you can build leads. Yes, you can put yourself in winning conditions. Can you end it effectively? So we saw it previously in game 1 where they pulled off at the end to go, let's just go get Soul, confirm the win, etc. This one, it's a little bit messier, as we see.
Creator does have that Cyclone. He's able to stay safe for a while longer. There's the Reflect on the bullet time. It doesn't do a ton of damage to Jaded Cloud, but it is going to force them back. And it is going to force the Wukong away as Jeff God Gamer just wants more blood. Trades flashes as Fang over Fang is the one to pick up a double kill. Yeah, that's how far ahead OverSoul is currently. The support can grab a double and nobody's mad.
Yeah, they also still have the revive passive from Agapan. So they're going to push in, get probably one of the base towers here. They probably won't overforce for all of them. They'll probably try to finish up the rest while we do see Drake is spawning as well, which will complete Soul for them. And then we'll see them full reset, straight Baron.
Mountain Soul Trundle, when he can steal the stats off of a passive stacked Wukong or an Aftershock Nautilus, is nightmarish to say the least. He wasn't dying before, and he certainly won't be dying now as Ragnarok pops, but no autos are thrown, so David doesn't manage to keep that one up. But Fang over Fang getting auto down. They really want to get the revive. They managed to get the withdrawal, but they lose Soul for it. I'm gonna be honest, Tux at this point is playing for me. They're playing for mental. They're playing to try and keep their heads in there.
He who shall not be named has more Horcruxes. You can't kill it once. You have to kill it again. You have to kill it again.
And now you have to kill her through her W, through the Archangel Shield, and through Mountain Soul, and Knight's Vow, and Locket.
Yeah. Look, it is a Mel. It is what it is. It is what it is. But
it is what it is.
It is Wednesday, my dudes, as well. Just saying. For me, at least.
For you, maybe. Still Tuesday.
Yeah, we don't play League on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays we play Randall.
No, we do not. We go outside. We enjoy the world. We touch grass.
Yeah.
We all can
sure.
play League. I'm telling you, Wednesday is the worst day to play League.
I mean, I believe it. It's the middle of the week. Everybody's just feeling very ghoul.
The word you're looking for. Producer saying ungodly things in my ear. Unless him say some Hail Marys.
Things that we are not going to say on broadcast. Fang over Fang.
No, Yone.
Yone's trying to make something happen. Starts with the Baron again, but it does not matter as Jeff.Gamer is reflecting the bullet time back. A lot of damage comes through, but Mel should finally die. Ragnarok is popped, but the defenses are there. They can't take her down. A triple kill for Jeff.Gamer, and that should just be it for the series.
I don't get it. Mel has their own series on Netflix. can't kill it like that. The ratings are too high. It is one of the highest rated shows of all time. We're watching it in real time in 4K, 11, 1, and 5.
Yeesh, we thought it was Swifty's game, but Jeff.Gamer comes out of the woodwork and says, hey, I am playing Mel from Arcane. And Mel from Arcane in Vanquisher at the very least. Now with, I believe, a 100% win rate. As OverSoul will take the series. You were talking about stats earlier. You can't get away from it.
No. You can't do that to me. I just said she's a 0% win rate because I hate it. I hate it.
Well, now she gets a win on the board officially in Vanquisher.
I'm going to go look through every other game that was played in Vanquisher Divinity and find Mel's true stats. I don't want to see it.
It's gonna be high. Are you sure you want to do that to yourself?
I want to go to bed. I want to forget about this. No, OverSoul, they played game 3 exceptionally. Like there's no other way to put it. That was absolutely a magical game. After game 1 and 2 was like whoever won early lost, which means they didn't know how to end. And then this game, OverSoul just absolutely blows this one out to perfection. They kept finding the picks. They kept forcing themselves into great positions. It was... Look, Swifty annihilated them.
Yeah, Swifty played very well. I think especially in that game 2. Game 1, a little bit rougher. Gladiator definitely had their number on the smites here and there, but game 3, they just did not allow him anywhere close, and Swifty ended up just taking over the game on this Trundle. It was a really effective pick into the Wukong, into the Nautilus, and it's these kinds of picks that we see in Fearless that we really love to see.
I wouldn't say it was an effective pick. I think it had an effective moments where it became an effective pick. In isolation, Wukong is always going to be the best jungler, and I'm surprised to see it in game 3. But for some reason, Trundle has found the perfect fights to put themselves in a lead, and then they were like, if I go Titanic, Wukong dies. And then it was done. And it was a great read. Yeah, it was a great read, and it played well and never let the foot off the pedal. Just constant gas, acceleration. Swifty never let them have a chance to breathe. But we do have to talk about Jeff, because...
A lot of interesting picks from Jeff today. The Vayne and the Mel coming to pretty decent success for them, I would say. And
yeah,
you know, despite taking one game as a loss, I mean, still, I think overall a very good set of games from both of these teams. It's just OverSoul was that little bit better in that final stretch.
Yeah, that game 3 kind of looks like Tux just took their foot off of it. They lost it. They just kind of got lost in the sauce. They tried to build another perfect comp and tried to get everything going, and then went, we've given up too much in this, and they're playing weird stuff and we don't know how to play into it. The Olaf, the idea was great. You cannot get to the meld. You never had the opportunity to.
Either, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Karma was nasty. I hate Karma top. It is one of the most unfun top laners. It's like playing against a Vayne top. You're not winning.
Except worse, because it's much slower. You don't get like one shot over time. It's just very slow. You get chipped down, you get poked again and again. You're begging for your jungler, please come top. She has no flash. And then they never do, and the Karma just gets to kind of run you over. But our solo
and you die.
experiences aside, OverSoul end up taking this series win, and congratulations to them. And I think I want to give a little special shout out to Swifty there, another one of our casting producing brethren here, ending up playing this split and is looking very successful this early on.
I'd start flaming them now. If they're part of the crew, start flaming them. Swifty return. Learn to smite. God damn it. What happened to that Baron, bro? Jesus Christ.
Before Sater gets too aggressive on
no, I'm joking.
I want to thank you all so much for joining us. I've been What's Birdie. That's been Sater, our producer Golden, and our observer Anti, making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. We appreciate you all for being here. We will see you next week for more Vanquisher action. Have a good night.